And welcome back, everybody, to the David S. Palmer Arena here in Danville. We're back here as the Danville Dashers are going to take on the Menor Icebreakers in Federal Professional Hockey League action, as we're here in about the mid to early part of the season here. Last night, a really intense game between these two teams. Nate Williamson here with you on the call tonight with my cohort in crime, as redundant as that is for the second night in a row. Mr. Dennis Michelson to my left. Dennis, how you doing tonight?
Doing great and looking forward to another fantastic game of Federal Prospects Hockey League action. We've been seeing some great, end-to-end action and a lot of excitement. And these two teams got a little chippy at times last night, and I have a feeling we are going to see some real fireworks in tonight's game.
Yeah, you got to think so. After last night, kind of ended the last two periods on a pretty crazy note. We saw anything from broken glass on the side of the arena all the way to a goalie involved in a fight that drew more than a fair share of blood. It's good to see him down there on the right side of the bench tonight, sporting a stocking cap instead of a helmet for tonight. But his relief, it's worth mentioning, came in and did a great job last night. Jordan Brandt came in and actually didn't allow any more goals after relieving Mr. Austin Rodebush.
Yeah, strong effort off the bench, and as we mentioned on last night's broadcast, when you come in cold like that, you're not expecting to play. Now all of a sudden you're thrust into the middle of a very close game. That takes a lot. Big change for your Danville Dashers tonight. Nigel Slade will miss tonight's game with a hand injury sustained from the face of Rodebush last night in that fight. So he'll miss tonight's game. But the good news is a couple of the players up in the press box said that they might be back next week. So we'll have to wait and see. Sometimes the players get a little too optimistic when it comes to injuries.
Well, that's a good thing to hear indeed as well. They could use some of those guys back. It's already been a tough part of the season here for the Dashers in terms of injury, and they could use a couple of players back. But Coach Ray Tremblay really doing a good job at making do with what's there and what weapons he has, as well as actively seeking out new weapons. We saw a returning weapon for this season, Mr. AJ Tesserero notch 2 goals in the tally, and it's last night. 2 goals, Fred Hine had 1, and that was enough to do it against Menor, as another solid standing night from Jesse Gordichuk.
Yeah, solid night in goal, and now let's get those intros of our Danville Dashers starting lineup.
Tommy B, taking you away.
Not even you, Conway!
To the David S. Palmer Arena for Prospect League action as the Menor Icebreakers take on your Danville Dashers. Let's see our Danville Township starting lineup for your Dashers at defense. From Bishop, Indiana, number 4, Brad Denny. From Malmö, Sweden, number 44, Johan Holmlund. Kitchener, Ontario, number 8, Mitch Atkins. And forward from North Reading, Massachusetts, number 19, Fred Hine. And forward from Jelgava, Latvia, number 61, Christopher Warmanis. And in goal from Pennington, British Columbia, number 31, Jesse Gordichuk. From the International, Cooper Hudson. And here are the rest of your Danville Dashers.
No real surprises there in the starting lineup for Danville. In case you couldn't hear it, we'll take you through them again. In goal, the reliable Jesse Gordichuk. And your left wing and last night's game-winning goal scorer, Fred Hine, also wearing the assistant's badge tonight. Christers Bormanis is going to be on the right wing opposite him. Mitch Atkins has had a nice night last night in terms of face-offs. Is going to be in the center with Johan Hoagland and Brad Denny, the same starting defenders as last night. We'll take a brief moment here for the national anthem.
For our national anthem, performed on the ice tonight by Mr. Kurt Kaiser.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rent the air, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I don't know what that loud noise was, but man, it picked it up very well. Kurt Kaiser with your national anthem there. If you didn't hear Kurt then, you'll hear him later on tonight. He sits right in front of us, and no doubt we'll pick up some of him. Very passionate Dashers fan and a great singer as well, if you didn't hear that. And we forgot to mention, didn't really forget, just didn't have time to mention here, Danville Township's Youth Player Spotlight was Cooper Hudson from your local Danville Junior Dashers. Always good to see them giving back to the community here. And heading into this game tonight, as we get ready to start the first period, a couple of keys to the game, Mr. Dennis. What are your thoughts on tonight's proceedings?
Well, Coach was saying that he was very impressed with Nick Gullo last night, and in fact has been all season. Says that he's sort of the heartbeat of this club. So that mighty might, Nick Gullo might be having the kind of game that you expect. I think the Dashers will have a great game.
There is rarely a puck that Nick Gullo isn't fighting for if he's out on the ice. Menor won the initial faceoff, and thus they are taking the offensive possession here. Danville trying to get it out of the zone. A puck slapped high, almost had an open net as they had Gordichuk beat with a pass through the blue zone. Menor with the early scoring opportunity. Morrow put into the boards quickly and early as Hoagland passes over to Denny, who tries to get it up to, I do believe, Bormanis there on the wing. Already having a shift change are the Dashers as Mitch Atkins skates around. Menor with another shot, almost tipped up. Jesse Gordichuk did well to get onto that one. Off the stick of Duncan, touched up there by a screen. I do believe that was Mark Essery.
Much like last night, the Dashers having a little trouble with the Menor Icebreakers' pressure, getting the puck out of their zone early. They were able to settle down and solve that last night, but Coach was not happy early in the game last night.
A big key to breaking that last night was the counterattack for Danville. Tesserero scored 2 goals on the counter, one of them seemingly against all odds on a 3-on-1 situation. Menor really putting the pressure on here. 4 players still in the offensive zone, almost 5, even though the puck is controlled by the Dashers momentarily. Palmerville on it now, wearing the assistant captain here. A nice stretch pass there. He had an assist on a similar one to that last night. A tie-up here as we're going to have a stoppage and play. A penalty already.
A penalty, yep.
And it's going to go against Seth Ensor. Referee is trying to get ahead of this one early tonight.
I think that was a cross-check, wasn't it?
I didn't see the sign. It came from the back judge. We'll get the official word on that in just a little bit here.
I missed the sign. It just looked like there might have been a cross-check during the action there. Or Seth getting a cross-checking penalty last night, but one that Coach didn't mind because he was defending his goalie. And I don't think Coach has been too happy with the way the teams have been beating up on Gordichuk.
I don't think so either, as they have not taken great care of the Dasher goalie. Bringing it back around here is Dmitry Daniliuk. Now bringing it up on Clouston. Clouston carries it across his own blue line and carries it across Danville's blue line while he's at it. A backhanded pass almost finds it across the slot to Mr. Morrow. Alexander Morrow, you can always tell him he's currently wearing the face mask. No shame in that, not for me anyway. I would have to have a face mask if I was out there. That's why I'm up here. Menor with some nice passing here. A shot from the point is saved by Gordichuk. Rebound almost put away. A clean stick tie there from Johan Hoagland keeps him from burying a rebound. A nice save early on for Gordichuk as Menor's been threatening so far with the offensive possession. 1 minute and 5 seconds left on the penalty. 17:46 left to go in the first period. That's a dump there to Duncan, who tries to swing it over. It ends up coming off the boards and going right into Declan Conway's stick. It's turned over, and the Menor defense is going to regroup here.
Menor getting some fresh legs at the point.
Essery on it now as he's fighting off 2 Dashers for the puck. It's tipped off by the Dashers and sent back into the zone where Henry Berger picks it up. Berger across the lane there to Duncan. Tipped up by Essery and sent down into the zone.
Icing.
For an icing. It's going to come all the way back here on the power play.
Been a sloppy power play for Menor. That one good opportunity that they had, but it took them about a full minute to get it.
Dashers off on an early serve pro penalty kill here. Can't forget about that. As we step into the face-off circle, Alexander Morrow going against Christers Bormanis. Bormanis is thrown out, and in comes Barakov. Barakov loses it off there to Farrington. Played across here to Berger, who flicks it down. That one's going to go out of play.
And that's going to come out to a center ice face-off, and with just 18 seconds left in the penalty, you win this face-off and you've killed this first penalty off with no problem. Another sloppy play by Menor, and the Dashers will take it.
Now coming in, Essery flicks an easy one to Gordichuk there. Elects to dump it down into his boards. Laying chase both sides. Ending up with it, Thomas Stewart Dant. A pass across the blue zone, no one home though, as Essery was inches away from that one. Just buzzed in front of Gordichuk. Kept it nicely, Essery with a shot. It's deflected there by number 68, Logan Hawgood.
And we're back to full strength.
Full strength with 16:32 left to go in the first period. We're going to get an offside here on Menor as Essery and Farrington not able to connect. A little bit of sloppy play here early on. Maybe a case of tired legs after last night's battle royale. As we've seen some sloppy passing.
Very physical game last night. Maybe that took a bit out of the boys from both sides.
Won by the Dashers as Murray picks it up. Murray off the boards there to the freshly acquired Zach Sargis.
Again, pretty tentative passing by the Dashers, and now they're in trouble.
Unable to break the zone. Now they're going to try and do it, and they do with a foot pass there. It's actually going to come all the way back to the Menor defense, and it's going to be slung down. It might be beat out. If not, it's an icing. It's back for an icing. That was a close call there.
Good hustle by the Menor offensive player, but official behind the scenes had already started to make that call.
Zach McKenna almost on the receiving end of that long stretch pass. He was in a foot race with Ensor, who slots into this lineup right now at right wing. We might have to change his listing on the FPHL's website to D/F rather than just D, because he's out there on the right wing for the Dashers right now. Dashers defense almost collides. Sargis and Murray running into each other of sorts.
And with so many injuries to the Dashers, they need as much flexibility as they can get out of their players right now.
Quintos throws that one over to Barakov, and that's intercepted by Menor. Ensor lays a big hit down there in the corner. Instead, Menor coming the other way now, Pinkowski. Pinkowski throws one onto Gordichuk, and that one's going to be covered up with the glove and frozen.
And the officials doing a good job behind the scenes of keeping Seth Ensor from getting into more I think he just got told if he doesn't want to go back to the penalty box that he better go to the bench.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't let him go there, honestly, in the early stages, but so early in the game, you would call that a little bit questionable.
It was a good, clean hit by Seth Ensor. It was just a good, tough hit.
It was a big hit, so you can understand taking a little bit of offense to that. But then again, we're still playing hockey. Last I checked, not playing basketball out there on the ice. So
it's hockey, it's not hacky sack.
No, it's certainly not. Although we do hit with the foot sometimes. Bringing it across, Denny actually carrying that one across. He tries to pick out Atkins. Instead, it's back to Denny after a little bit of trouble. Atkins to Denny. Denny with a backhanded shot as Menor's trying to clear this. Almost too many men in the way there. Now coming the other way, Declan Conway with a nice deke. He's going to find some open ice. A shot is swallowed up into the chest of Jesse Gordichuk.
Good thing that he did swallow it up because Alexander Morrow was just charging in to make the play on that rebound. Gordichuk not giving up the rebound there, saved himself and the Dashers a goal.
15-10 left to go here in the first period. Already seen one power play in favor of Menor, who I think it's fair to say have had the majority of the offensive possession so far tonight. Diaz chips it down there, looking for Farrington. Blown tire there by Brody Duncan. No harm, no foul. This one's tied up along the boards. Got a scrum for that. Dasher's going to end up on the other end of it. It's Barakov coming the other way with it now to Armstrong. Armstrong going to hold this one. Carries it around the back of the net, looking for a pass. Ends up finding Barakov. Going to come back to Hoggood, who has a shot from the points. Easily deflected there by Jordan Brandt. And Menor's going to run the other way with it. Instead, it's stopped by Palmerville, who fires a shot. Just too many bodies in the way. This one touched up by Essery, who's hit hard by Hoggood, trying to play that puck. Coming the other way with it now, number 13, Thomas Stewart. Dan is taken down with a nice hit. And the hit's returned there as number 20, Zach McKenna, lays a little bit of boom. Coming the other way with it, Danville. Palmerville tries to get one out, and he does after a little bit of a redirection. A shot is passed down there.
Fresh legs needed for the Dashers, and they got it.
Now, we saw some scoops like that get called down for a frozen puck last night.
Yeah.
Looks like they're willing to let it go a little bit more. That was a great opportunity there for number 10, Naida. Quintos, number 10 for the Dashers, coming back this way now. Back to Murray in the point. Murray fires one in. That's easily touched up there by number 10, Naida. Slotting in for the center role here for Menor. A different addition from last night. Assuming a healthy scratch. Fought for hard here along the boards. Menor doing a nice job. Some clean passing. That one just a little bit too tall for the outstretched glove there of their right winger. Now coming the other way, Nick Gullo. Speaking of fight, Murray's going to carry this one down. A little bit of a lazy collection there, but instead gets it back and sends it back down the other end of the ice. Now coming the other way with it, Alexander Morrow. He slings it down behind the goal of Gordichuk, and that one's going to come back for an icing.
The top offensive line now on the ice for the Dashers. Maybe that's what they're going to need to wake up this offense a little bit because they've been a little tentative in moving the puck again tonight. Did get an explanation on that disallowed goal last night. It was indeed a hand pass is what the ruling was. And nobody seemed to understand the ruling is what I came out with.
It was a bit confusing, not going to lie. There were a couple of confusing things as Quintos is going to end up on the other, Atkins actually, on the other end, fires a shot. It's blocked up there by number 18, Henry Berger. Had a couple solid shifts last night. That one a rocket, redirected off the stick of Declan Conway out of bounds. Fred Hine trying to pick a pass there to Mitch Atkins.
Luckily sounded like it hit the back of a seat rather than the back of a fan.
Or the front of a fan. Yeah.
Crowd, not the usual Danville Dashers intensity yet tonight.
A lot going on this weekend, it would seem. That's the only way I can think to explain it. A Brad Denny pass is knocked out there by Stuart Dant. Denny coming back around with it now. He's got Hoagland on the other side, but he's going to have to act quick. Gets it out to Fred Hine. Fred Hine with a little bit of an errant pass to Bormanis. Ends up with Hine again. He's going to come back to Brad Denny for delayed offside as Farrington picks it up instead. As Essery touches it up here on the side in the offensive zone for Menor. Hawgood coming the other way with it. Hawgood seeing increased minutes already tonight. Couple injuries, a little bit of tired legs. Going to see some switches here for both sides, you would imagine.
Real quick change, and we're going to have a penalty on Menor.
Penalty here. It's Mark Essery, who had over 30 minutes of penalty time combined last night. That's a gross exaggeration, but he did have a lot of penalty time last night.
Oh, he wants to get that average up, and he's going back to the box again.
He's given him a lot of Serve Pro penalty kills so far, and he gifts him another one there. If you give me a second, I'll pull up the actual penalty time total last night as we go on the Jenna-Worth power play. Last night he had 19 penalty minutes.
That's a pretty healthy time, considering that's out of 60 minutes of a game. It's almost a third.
You can't have too many outliers like that, though, or they'll just discount them from your average, right? That's how that works? Math? Face off here, it's Fred Hine going against Farrington. Make that Zach McKenna. Hine ties him up, it's out to Palmerville. A shot from Ensor, a rocket is just a little bit too high. On the Jenna-Worth power play now, Danville to the point for Palmerville. Bormanis fires a shot that's wrapped up nicely by Jordan Brandt.
Fred Hine had made a nice move into the middle of the ice, was trying to get his teammates' attention. He was wide open.
And controlling rebounds, one of the big things that's going to be be done tonight by Brandt as we look at Danville, who has a tendency to pounce on rebounds and score them back in. Both sides pretty capable of doing it. Goalie's going to have to be on top notch. Ensor with a rocket that's blocked up by Essery. Or not Essery, he's out. Conway.
Last night, Menor Icebreakers were winning a majority of the faceoffs, and so far early, the Dashers getting the better of the advantage there.
Into the face-off circle we go here. Awaiting the puck drop, a little bit of a stall there. It's won by Danville. A big face-off win there on the power play. It's turned over pretty sloppily there, as Gordachuk's going to recover this one.
Fresh legs for the Menor penalty-killing team.
Palmerville out to Hine. Hine's going to carry this one through. He passes it out to Bormanis. Instead, it's picked up by Menor. Almost had a great opportunity there, did Seth Ensor. Palmerville going to have to fight with Conway for this one. And he does as it's pressed up into the boards. 1:11 left on the penalty, 11:06 left in the first period. Palmerville back and lets the Danville Dashers get a little bit of a game plan here going in the last minute of the penalty.
It's been a long shift for this first line for the Dashers here.
Carried over here by the Dashers. Quinto's going to end up on it as Bormanis fires a shot, actually. That one almost brought back in as a rebound gets squirted out. Nobody able to capitalize. Bormanis out to the point to Brad Denny. Over to Ensor with a rocket. Almost tipped in by Atkins. This one going to be played off the stick of Fred Hine. Tipped up and out of play.
Faceoff will come out to the neutral ice. 37 seconds left on the Dashers power play. Real good effort there. And now they're actually going to move the faceoff all the way down to the Dashers end.
I don't know.
I could understand the neutral ice one, but I guess they're...
Yeah, I don't understand. I've never seen that happen before. Well, I don't know everything, that's for sure. Coming up now here is Menor wins this one. They've got 34 seconds left on the penalty kill, and they're electing to bring this one back down to the defensive zone. Tesserero fights for that one as Menor turn it over. Coming the other way with it is Quintos. Quintos lays a big hit as he jumps up, and a shot there saved nicely by Brandt. That was off the stick of Tesserero, who had a two-piece last night.
watching how these men are icebreakers, power or penalty killers, are doing a really good job of kind of taking a few extra seconds off the penalty each time they get the puck. Shows why they're one of the leaders in the penalty kill in the league right now.
We like to call that heads-up hockey, that's for sure. The Dashers fighting to keep this one in. Hoagland unable to do so. Coming the other way is Morrow. Morrow going to try and drag this one in. He's hit off well by Hoagland, who puts him into the boards. Still going to end up with it there. That's Nathan Farrington down on the ground. He had a hard hit.
Yep, we're going to have a penalty on the Dashers here.
That was a pretty late call there, but nonetheless, it did look like a trip, and that's what they're going to call.
Yeah, I don't have any argument with that call.
Nope. Especially when a player goes hard into the boards. They're prone to call something there. I'm glad Nate Farrington was able to get up. He laid there for a second.
That was a pretty good hard fall that he took. I'm glad he's okay.
It was. Penalty assessed nonetheless. I do believe that's AJ Tesserero in the box.
You would be correct, Nate.
Can't see the mustache. He shaved it off, so I don't get any help from that anymore. 4-on-4 hockey for the next 1 second. That expires, and now the Dashers actually have a breakaway here, but it's nicely stopped up by the man coming out of the box. Quintos with a shot on Brand as that one's saved easily off the blocker. The Dashers going to have to come back now as they're on the serve pro penalty kill. Come the other way with it.
Good
Number 14,
job.
John
Good
Butita.
stick.
Active sticks by the Dashers. Let them send this one down to the other end of the ice on the serve pro penalty kill.
That was Quintos getting very active with his stick, and now getting a few licks in on the defense.
Fred Hines on it. Hine with a backhand. It's stopped up nicely there by John Butita. Tried to play it out to Butita. No luck on that. Instead, it's Hoggood that sends it down. As the Dashers doing a nice job in the early 45 seconds of this penalty kill.
That was Nick Gullo that created that chance.
Hine with it now. He stops it out of the air. It's played with a high stick, so you knew that one was stopped.
Oh, that was almost a good opportunity there, but
I'm not even sure the referee believed that Hine got a hold of that puck. That was a nice active stick there. Very quick reactions from Fred Hine.
when you score as often as Fred does, you're awfully, awfully good with that stick in a variety of ways.
Men are going to play this one from the back now. 58 seconds left on the penalty. 9 minutes left to go in the first period. Laying chase is Atkins. Fred Hine also out there applying a little pressure here in the penalty kill. A nice pass there to Farrington, and that's going to be called for an offside as Morrow couldn't keep himself onside. It was close, but just a foot or a little bit over the line.
What impresses me so much about Fred Hine's game is not just his offense. He is such a good, strong, all-around player.
Tough guy as well from Boston, Massachusetts.
Hey, he had that Gordie Howe hat trick last week.
He did indeed, followed it up by a normal hat trick. You don't see that too often.
That was
Two
a pretty
consecutive
busy
home
weekend.
games. It was. Played behind here, or behind the net, is Stuart Dant. Stuart Dant able to hold on to that one and get it to Morrow. Out to Daniliuk. Back to Stuart Dant, to Daniliuk, to Stuart Dant, who holds at the point, tries to fire a shot. It's blocked by Barakov's leg. Able to recover it, Menner. That one almost gets over the blue line. A nice save there by Morrow with a heads-up play to send it back down the ice. Picked up by Menner. Some nice active stick work here from the Dashers. And some nice active stick work from Menner as they're going to have an opportunity here. A pass across the blue line, swiftly dealt with by Brad Denny. A heads-up stick check there. As the penalty kill is over, we're now back to 5-on-5 hockey. Menner still threatening. It's Farrington here. It's played across. A shot is blocked up. That's going to do it for the Serve Pro penalty kill as Menner is on it again. On it now, Brad Denny as Gullo retrieves a rebound, is put into the boards. Tesserero to Barakov. He takes a big-time hit. Nothing dirty about that, but the fans don't like it.
That was a good hip check.
It was. Good, clean, head-up, hip check. Right back up.
Old-time hockey.
That
Now
was a
Ensor
big hit
takes
there
him
at
into
the
the
end.
boards hard.
Yeah, that one's going to come back for a penalty for sure. Looks like they're going to call it actually on Menor there.
Oh, wow. We'll take that.
Nada going to the box.
I thought we were going to see Seth Enser going back to the box.
I think Enser was playing the puck at the time. I think that's what played in his favor there, because I thought it could have gone either way as well. And it still might. I don't know. We've got a stoppage here. Something's getting explained to the back judge. Oh, media timeout. We hadn't had one of those yet. Well, while we're taking a minute here, we want to wish a very special happy birthday to none other than Mr. Justin Browsen, who's currently out with injury, but he's up there in the Bud Light skybox. Happy birthday, Justin. Can't wait to see you back out on the ice.
I think he's going to be close to returning to action very soon.
Not only a great player, a great guy, a lot of fun, very, very good with the fans as well. Actually, Blake Nada going to get thrown into the box for interference, the final call there.
That call makes sense then.
I think they actually just announced Justin's birthday to the crowd as well. I was a step ahead.
It's getting pretty crowded up in that skybox with Danville Dashers players. There's almost more players up in the skybox than reserves on the bench right now.
There are at least 6 players up there, and I know not all of them are up there as well. That's another thing.
Yeah, that's the scary part of the whole thing. But
There's more injuries than that's for sure. Also, teddy bear toss night. Stay tuned if you want to see some stuffed animals mercilessly thrown out onto the ice.
And you warned us last night that sometimes on the teddy bear game, it takes a while to get to this first goal.
It always seems that teddy bear night falls against a really team that plays us tough on the road. Last year, I actually think it was Carolina, and we won that game, but as you can imagine how hard it is to score on them, even when they were in the early part of their first season. A nice deke there. It was Atkins trying to get it out. A backhanded, literal backward shot from Fred Hine here on the Jenna Worth power play as Menor clears it down the ice as far as Gordichuk.
Good active offense, though, by the Dashers. A few of the fans getting their arms warmed up.
Hine on the wing, a nice deke, gets him open, a pass across the slot. Nothing there. Atkins off his stick.
Get your teddy bears ready.
Gonna fight for it here. Bormanis not able to get it back as it's sent back down the ice there by Nate Farrington.
Great shift by that first power play line for the Dashers, but they just could not cash in.
Gullo, Quintos, Tesserero out there currently for the Dashers on the offensive side of things at least. Sent back down, Morrow going to come the other way with it. Morrow's going to have a shot here on Gordichuk. It takes a bounce off the stick of Brad Denny. Gordichuk was watching that one. Put into the boards there by Hoagland as the Dashers going to get whistled for a penalty here.
Oh,
that's
boy.
on Alex Palmerville. Just when you get a power play, you give up a penalty again. That's twice in a row now.
And unfortunate, and it's going to be a little 4-on-4 for 49 seconds. And then the Dashers will have another penalty to kill, and that's unfortunate timing because this Dashers power play had been very, very active, getting a lot of good chances.
Butita on it here with Gullo. Somebody's probably going to get, nope, nobody got sent off of that one. I'm surprised. They've been pretty liberal at sending people off of these face-offs, which has led to good competition on the face-offs.
Oh, good active sticks there by the Dashers. Good opportunity.
Gullo fights for this one here as it's 4-on-4 hockey for the next 33 seconds. They'd like nothing more than to capitalize on that. Now coming the other way with it is Butita. Butita carries it across as he's a nice stick deke, finds him open, almost finds the stick of Von Clauston. Ooh. Instead, the rebound comes all the way back to Brody Duncan. Gives it to Butita. Across the ice there to Declan Conway. Conway's got a little bit of space here. Instead, elect to pass it down. A shot comes off the blocker of Gordichuk there.
Good opportunity here.
They got 3-on-1 if they work fast. Finds Gullo too hard off the stick. The pass from Quintos. Now Butita going to come the other way with it. Finds Declan Conway in some space. Drops it back off there as the attack is on. Butita with a shot off the post of Jesse Gordichuk and right into a fan dangerous situation there Looks like she's okay. Knock on wood. Actually, doesn't even look fazed by it. What a trooper.
You got to keep your head up even in the stands here.
You should never lose track of the puck at a hockey game. If you're up in the skybox, it can come up there. We've seen it.
Yes, indeed.
You never want to lose track of that puck, let me tell you.
We almost got one right in our lap last week.
Now 50 seconds of penalty kill here on the Serve Pro penalty kill for the Dashers. Sponsors really getting a workout tonight, huh?
They're getting a workout, but the Nets aren't.
Carrying the other way with it, Essery.
And the goal judges are going to have to give their payback tonight.
Oh, Essery lays a huge hit there, a mentor sandwich. In the jelly there, so to speak, was Logan Hawgood. A big hit there also by Murray, and that was just enough to mess that pass up, and Menner's going to have to regroup. Little pass here from Berger, back over to Daniliuk.
Ice is starting to get really worn late in the period. Puck is starting to hop all over the place.
Carrying across the blue line, Zach McKenna. McKenna with a shot on Gordichuk, done away with by the blocker.
Back to even strength.
4:14 left in the first period here. Period gone pretty quickly, even though a pretty good amount of penalties, especially compared to last night's 4 minutes of penalties in the first period. Come the other way with it, Danville back to full strength. Carrying it in was Atkins, elects to dump it down, and going to be frozen up by Brandt.
Many more stoppages in play here tonight. You could tell both teams kind of afraid to really get it going too fast here, kind of conserving their energy a little bit here, except when they've got that power play advantage. Last night we had one stretch where it was almost 7.5 minutes without a dead puck. Incredible.
Stuart Dant against Gullo. Gullo wins out and the Dashers have it. Hoagland on the point. He sends it down along the ice just hard enough. A nice pass there to get to Quintos, who backhands it out. Only gets as far as Menner, though, and now on the other way comes Declan Conway. Conway with some space and a shot. Swallowed up by Gordichuk. A great second save there off the stick of number 19, Brody Duncan, who was following in like a vulture.
Gave up a big chance in front of his net, but got away with it.
A great follow there by Brody Duncan. Enser fires one on a backhanded wrister. Come the other way, Conway trying to find Butita. Instead, Enser going to end up with this one. Hoagland, as it's no
nice
icing.
Move.
Hoagland with a nice move. A little bit too out of hand, though, as Menner has it again with Butita. Fires in front of the net there, as that one almost was in on Gordichuk. Denny carrying it now. Denny finds some space. He's taken out hard. And a big leg.
Check.
They're not going to call anything on that. And that one's frozen up, no penalty.
That was a good hip check again. Very aggressive, but he got him. He got a little airborne, but that was still a fairly clean hit.
Sometimes when you lower your body lower than your waist, you can get a penalty called on that, especially in an unclear situation. A breakaway chance there after he deked his way out of some opposition. A nice hip check there to make sure it was just high enough to where that didn't happen. And great defensive play so far here tonight. Leads to a 0-0 mark.
We're again seeing a very physical game.
It's only going to get better than that, I suppose. Couple just turnover passes here from both sides. That one's sent down to Tesserero. He didn't know it was coming, but he's offside anyway.
Kind of caught him right upside the chest, and he was trying to get out of the way of it, but it just kind of carried on.
Getting offside called on you, and a battle scar to boot.
He was fighting that puck off, but it kept having a homing pigeon effect to find his chest.
Carried back now. A little bit of a calm shot there, fired down into Gordichuk. Brody Duncan with a nice stick there to keep this one from going any farther back into his zone. Morrow just gets back on side to tip it up. Farrington with it now. Barakov with a nice stick deep to get through two men. But Menner throwing numbers back in great succession. Essery carries it in now. Essery with a shot that comes off the leg there of Murray. Murray gives him a little shove for his troubles. Murray nicely plays that one out. As far as Levi Armstrong coming the other way with it, Barakov's got a 1-on-2. It's going to be tough for him. Carries it around, loses the puck a little bit, kept onside there by Atkins. That one's going to come out of the line. 2 minutes left to go in the first period, 0-0 here at the David S. Palmer Arena.
Another nice move.
A couple really nice stick dekes here from the Dashers trying to get anything going. Now men are going to have an opportunity to run with it. It's nicely dealt with by Alex Palmerville, but only as far as number 21 there, number 20, Zach McKenna.
McKenna doing a real good job of reading that play and cutting that puck off before it could be trouble again.
That one comes down behind the net of Gordichuk. Another offensive pressure there. Some offensive defense from Menor. Almost wins them back another opportunity. Palmerville sneaks it out. And he does it again there as he's throwing it down the ice. The Dashers trying to build up some passing. They do. Coming down the right-hand side here. Pass across the zone finds Fred Hine, who's just able to tip it up and get a control of it. Menor almost had a free run there. Bormanis does just enough. He gets it back to Brad Denny. Denny out to Hine. Hine flips it down, and that one's going to get as far as Clouston. Back to Hine. He's going to try and keep this one onside. He does. He fires a shot in there. The rebound doesn't really find anybody. Now we're going to have it off the stick of the defense and popped up in the air, and coming the other way with it is Declan Conway.
Got stuck in his skates, and that prevented him from having an opportunity. Ooh, a hook call.
They're going to call a hook on Fred Hine. From behind the play again, the Dashers thwarted. Fred Hine not too pleased about that, and they won't just let him go off the ice for the period either.
43.1 seconds left.
Ray Tremblay is not happy about that one. You hardly ever see him lose his temper in front of the crowd, but
he wants an explanation, and he wanted it fast.
He got what the referee thought was an explanation, so that's all you're going to get in the long run.
Yeah, usually you don't win those arguments.
You sure don't. For some reason, it's like referees have authority or something, you would think.
Give a man a whistle, and, you know, what do you know?
What do you know? Farrington passes across here to Duncan. Duncan with a shot on, almost looked like it went in. Instead, it found the back of the net. Farrington with a pass across. Gordichuk with a stellar save and a stellar sprawling frozen puck. What a job, Jesse Gordichuk.
Standing on his head for that one. That was an incredible leaping stop. He looked like he was beat on that pass, but he just showed incredible athletic skill and quickness recovering, and now he needs an equipment adjustment.
Understandably so. He sprawled out completely to get that puck. Saved the Dashers a sure goal. Menor got to feel like they were robbed by the bank there.
Yep, they were robbed by Gordichuk. My goodness, this kid's been strong all season.
Menor wins the face-off. Another bouncing shot in on Gordichuk. Talking about that ice getting broke up. There was an example. All the way back to Duncan Gullo, going to try and rush for this one. He does fight it off, but Menor does a nice job at regrouping there.
Down to 8 seconds in the period.
Coming the other way with it, Mark Essery. Duncan going to fire a long slap shot, an inaccurate slap shot, gets a frozen puck. The clock was not stopped, though. We'll see if they put a little bit of time on it. Looks like they're going to.
And maybe
no, they're not. He was holding his hand up like there was a frozen puck, but he was just stopping the Menor bench from leaving the ice. They're not going to put any time back up there. It would have been just a few tenths of a second anyway. Would have been tough to get anything meaningful going after that.
A lot of stuffed animals got a reprieve in the first period.
You know, it's a short moment of chaos for them. They basically end up throwing them out on the ice, and they go from a good home to a good home. They go to the Toys for Tots here locally, I do believe. Pretty awesome.
That's the fun part of the whole thing.
Then they get distributed throughout all of the county, so that's pretty awesome in itself. Well, we're deadlocked here at 0 as we get out of the first period and go to the first intermission at the David S. Palmer Arena. 1 period down, 0-0 the score. Plenty of offensive opportunities. Dennis, early thoughts here a third of the way through the game.
Both teams really seem tentative at times. And they also seem like they are a little worn out from that very physical game last night. We're again seeing a very physical, defensive-minded game tonight, and that is no surprise.
Yeah, definitely not. Menor should come back out, I do believe, with a little bit of penalty time, maybe
Minute
about a
17.
minute and a half. Yeah. I was going to say, I couldn't do that math in my head so quickly. That's what you're there for.
It's the difference of Purdue education versus that other
okay.
school.
Okay. 13 shots on goal from Menor. I can count that high. 10 for the Dashers so far. 4 power plays for Menor, 2 for the Dashers. 8 penalty minutes to 4 currently.
I better get the math right or I'm going to be in big trouble.
I'll sit on that one, don't you worry. And we're going to take a short break here for the first intermission. We'll leave you with the sweet staticky sound of nothing being played here. Eventually I'll try and get some free music here or get our wonderful GM and owner to buy us some that we can play in the intermission. Maybe I'll just sing for the rest of the intermission, Dennis.
Boy, that would be a treat.
We would lose every listener that we have on here. Well, we're going to go away for a little bit for the first intermission here. We'll be back for the second period in just about 16 and a half minutes now. Hope you're having a good night Saturday night here at the David S. Palmer Arena. We'll be back. Welcome back to the David S. Palmer Arena. We're here for the second period of Danville Dasher hockey against the Menor Icebreakers here. We're deadlocked at a score of 0-0 as we get the second period underway here in about 20 seconds with Menor skating to your left and the Dashers going to be going to the right, far away from their benches on the offensive zone. This was a big period in last night's game. Saw a couple goals as well as a lot of penalty minutes in the second period of last night's game. Now, Dennis, we're at a 0-0 game. It's been a little physical, but nothing compared to last night. More penalty minutes even though. Maybe that's partially why. When you're looking at this from the perspective of both teams, let's start with the Dashers. What's your game plan here coming out of the first intermission?
Well, the first task is to kill this minute and 17 of penalty time. If they can do that, then you gotta get those stretch passes working out of your own zone more. And you gotta be real sure that the puck's in deep before you try to do a line change, because you're a long way away from the bench this, in your defensive zone in the second period.
This is kind of the time where you watch those stretch passes a little bit closer because you know they can have a pretty big effect on you down the stretch here. Now for Menor, you want to come right out and punch the Dashers in the mouth, so to speak, maybe even literally, judging by what we saw last night from both sides, but more likely with a goal here in the second period. What do you think their game plan here? Do you think they're going to apply pressure right here out of the stretch?
Got to keep very aggressive, and they got to put a lot of pressure on the Dashers when the puck is in the Dashers' defensive zone. That's been the way they've generated their offense so far this weekend.
Now, notably, Parker Moscow dismissed and suspended here as he left the team, basically, for the Menor Icebreakers. But I think they've got plenty of scoring here to back that up. There's no doubt about that. A lot of firepower. Mark Essery, Brandon Morrow, John Butita, Von Clouston, a lot of great names, a lot of really talented players. Clouston's on it now behind the Menor net. Butita lets that one go to Duncan. Duncan back to Butita. Butita, a stretch pass to Clouston. He's got space. Clouston in on Gordachuk. Off the bar, down and in. Even hit the water bottle. That's a goal for Menor on the penalty right off the bat. Dashers fail to secure the Serve Pro penalty kill.
Yep, you knew that was going to be trouble when the puck found his stick, and he was wide open between him. Nobody between him and the net except for Gordachuk, and a great shot to beat Gordachuk on the one-timer.
Wasn't a whole lot he could have done about that, that's for sure. Quick first shot there, and first shot of the period basically for Menor, and it goes in.
Play happened so fast, there was really no opportunity for Gordachuk to even come out and cut down the angle.
A quick stoppage of play here as we're going to see another face-off. As Menor takes a 1-0 lead here to start the second period. Speaking of scoring, there it was. No doubt about that one. Bar down off the water bottle and in. That hitting the water bottle just does a little bit extra for goalies. That's my water bottle. You don't touch it, and you don't shoot your puck at it, but sure did there. That one slung down into the zone by Ensor. Picked up there by Jordan Brandt. Slings it around to Ensor again. Ensor's got a little space. He's going to fire one in. Tries to get his own rebound. Goes up over the top of the net. Quintos on it now. Quintos fighting for it. Menor with some active sticks here. And that one is an active leg that keeps that one, and it's all the way down to Gordachuk. Menor threatening again. Dashers on it now, trying to break this with Ensor. Instead, it's going to come all the way down here, be touched up by number 26, Joseph Keenan. A big hit laid into Keenan there. And that was Ensor laying the hit. Some offensive chances here early on for Menor. This one comes out to the point. It's a shot from the point off the blocker of Jesse Gordachuk. The shot from Tim Perks. Actually, excuse me, that was Berger. Now Berger on it again, carries it in off the back of the ice there to Farrington. Tries to fire one across the blue zone. It's picked up by Nick Gullo. Out to Fred Hine. Instead going to be on it. Now Fred Hine on it. Fred Hine with a little bit of space. A shot that goes wide and right and up of the goal there of Jordan Brandt. Come the other way, Essery. Essery with some space and a 2-on-1. Another goal for Menor.
Yep, they had the numbers, they had the break, great pass. Danville Dashers slow on recovering on defense, and now it's 2-0.
And that one was on full strength, so that hurts extra deep. The Dashers down 2-0 in the second period as we head with about 18-14 left to go in the second period. Plenty of game left, but the Dashers giving up a goal every minute here in the second period. Something's got to change, and something's got to change fast.
Sluggish defense for the Dashers to open the second period here.
And it certainly doesn't have to change with Jesse Gordichuk. 2 goals, nothing he could do about that. The Dashers win the faceoff here. Fred Hine wins it against Declan Conway. Touched up by Atkins. Atkins fighting for it. Menard elects to dump it down here as far as Hoagland's going to be picked up for an icing and come back down. Ray Tremblay picks the right side there of Jordan Brandt. That goal, Henry Berger on an assist from Mark Essery. The first goal, officially Declan Conway from Alexander Morrow and Brody Duncan. I think that one was pretty self-explanatory myself. Passed in by Hines, swallowed up there by Menor.
Conway having a super year.
Denny on the other end of it. Now bringing it across is Bormanis. Bormanis tries to get one to Hine. It's too strong, goes off the stick and the boot of Danville's top scorer. A fake pass ends up in a shot. That was a nice move there by Jackson Tucker. Now coming the other way with it. Bormanis is tripped up, delayed penalty here. Danville going to have an opportunity. And almost frozen up by Menor. Instead, Brad Denny lets it go, and that one is going to be a slashing. As the Dashers need this one.
That's just the break that the Danville Dashers need to get back into this game. They need to convert. But as we said, going into this weekend, the Menor Icebreakers 86% rate on that penalty kill. It's been just incredible how stingy they've been.
It was good last night as well. Tesserero taking the face-off here for the Dashers. Loses out, but ends up poking it through. Quintos fighting to get onto the end of this one, and it ends up with Tesserero. Now on it, Quintos. Quintos with an opportunity here. A nice defensive play there by number 5, Alexander Morrow. Man, is he active on both sides of the ice or what? Brad Denny winds up for a point shot. Instead goes over to Hoagland. Back to Denny. Denny off the boot. 2 passes off the boot in a row. Behind the net here, Danville. Back out to Denny. Some nice passing there. That was Quintos trying to touch that one up and bank it down into the net. Instead, Jordan Brandt easily on top of that one.
Good opportunity there by the Dashers. The puck thrown in front of the net, trying to get the tip from Quintos, but he was just a little late getting to the spot, and the goalie just making easy work of that lazy shot in that was just meant to create an opportunity in front of the net.
Got a fun fact here for you. We've got some family in the chat here, and both goalies tonight actually played together in Fort Murray. Fun fact there. Thanks to you guys in the chat for pointing that one out. Brad Denny brings this one behind here. 1:21 left to go on the power play for Danville, the Jenna-Worth power play. That one's dipped down to Tesserero. Tesserero holds. He's going to get this one on the forehand. Fires a shot there.
Good opportunity. Almost got by Brandt.
Jordan Brandt able to recover, and that one was close. Getting over that line.
He juggled it, dropped it, the puck hit the ice, and he had to smother it, but boy, that was close.
I wasn't expecting that shot to come off so hard. Tesserero with a heck of a wrist shot there. Looked like it was going to be a fairly calm shot. Instead, a pretty strong shot that almost elects Danville with just a goal they would need. 1:08 left to go on the power play here. 16:39 left in the second period. Atkins on this one across the point. That one a dangerously bouncing shot. Dealt with nicely by Jordan Brandt. He's having a heck of a night already. Long stretch pass here. Interrupted there by number 26, Joseph Keenan. And sent back down out of play. That one's going to come back here to neutral zone faceoff.
Danville Dashers generating a lot of offense here on this power play, but just not finishing the deal.
Danville now on a power play after goals by Berger and Conway. Essery on this one now with some space. A backhanded wrist shot is dealt nicely by the mask of Gordachuk. Fred Hine plays it across. Pass intercepted here. Now going to go the other way is Stuart Dant. Tries to find Essery, no luck. Bormanis over to Hine. Hine with a slap shot off the leg of a defender. And back into the hands of Seth Ensor. A big hit laid to Ensor there. A nice defensive play by Menor. As tripped up and shoved to the ice there was Ensor. Menor threatening once again.
Good job by Palmerville recovering on the defense, though.
11 seconds left to go in the power play here for Danville. Slung down behind the net. It's going to be a tough call for Atkins to get to that. And he does get to it. Fred Hine on it now. Back to Atkins. A dangerous pass there. Just unable to do anything with it. Menor playing some solid defense, just what we expected. Back to full strength here with 15:21 left to go. Hustling there was number 23 Von Clauston to kill the offside chance, or the icing chance.
Menor doing a good job of putting a lot of pressure on here.
Fred Hine out there in the paint now. The paint of the Hustler Motors logo, just for future reference. Morrow brings it down and slings it down, and Jesse Gordachuk unable to get a stick on that one. He's going to have to get back in front of his goal in a hurry. A slap shot fired there by number 11, Parker, or nope, not Parker Moscow, Henry Berger, number 18.
Oh.
Some big hits being laid here, a little bit of frustration.
Another big hit.
Shot almost redirected there by John Butita.
It's a pretty big collision with Seth Ensor and number 7, Jackson Tucker of the Menor Icebreakers. And after the two guys had the big collision, it's like they looked at each other and kind of said, hey, that was okay.
In the face-off circle for Danville, that was number 94, Nick Gullo, losing out to Butita. Morrow on it now, almost redirected in by Butita. Gordachuk making him work now with a nice another stick save there. Sent down by Quintos. It's going to get all the way around to the goalie Brandt. Gullo just a little bit too short to reach up and grab that one, but a good effort. Danville back on side now. A little bit of confusion there as who's going to take that puck. Might lead to a breakaway here for Jackson Tucker. Tucker with some space. A light shot or pass there is broken up either way, but Brandon Morrow almost on the end of it. Now Danville going to run with Nick Gullo. A big swing and a miss on the check there by Nada. Nick Gullo able to get out of the way, and Nada flies into the boards. Gullo on the other end of this with the catches it in his glove. Now coming the other way, number 26, Joseph Keenan. Keenan in some space, fires it back to the point. Dealt with nicely by Jesse Gordachuk, who catches it.
Boy, that was big-time trouble again as the Dashers get a little bit sloppy with the puck, and Menor Icebreakers quick to capitalize with a good offensive chance. But Jesse Gordachuk, as he's done all year, coming up big in the net.
On it now, Danville. And Murray shooting it out there. Fred Hine out there with Atkins. Coming the other way, Bormanis going to fight for this one. Able to fend off number 3, Dmitry Daniliuk, but not for long. Murray tries to find Hine. Instead, it's going to end up with Menor. Mark Essery able to come with it now. He sends that out of play. We're going to have an offside here.
Troy Murray did a really good job of keeping that offensive play alive. But then Menor defense reacting and doing a good job of clearing the zone.
Hawgood throws that one in. Fred Hine not privy to the plan there. It ends up instead with Menor. Now all the way back to Hawgood. A stretch pass no good to Essery. Fred Hine on the line now, throws it behind the net, touched up by Jordan Brandt, bounces off his stick a little bit. Now on it, Daniliuk. Trying to find Essery instead is going to find Stuart Dant with a little bit of space. Some nice active stick work there by Murray. And Danville going to run the other way with it here. It's Atkins. Atkins with a nice deke to find some space. Almost finds Fred Hine, instead finds Murray. A shot from the point by Brad Denny, swallowed up by Brandt.
Danville Dashers defensemen doing a good job of getting involved in the offensive play. In the offside, the opposite side defensemen doing a good job of retreating to make sure they wouldn't get beat on an odd man break.
Coming the other way with it, Levi Armstrong drags it down in the offensive zone using that big body. Denny with a shot from the point, just jumps on Jordan Brandt and dealt with nicely there by Morrow. Heck of a two-way player. Butita on it now as Tesorero goes sliding to block passes. Ends up cutting off a lane. It's going to find Morrow nonetheless here behind the net. Out to the point, Duncan. Pass just a little bit too hard for Duncan there from his cohort on defense. Coming the other way with it is Brad Denny. Denny over to Armstrong. Armstrong with a shot. Brandt bobbles it. He doesn't know where it is. He covers it up at last. Dashers threatening there.
Artie was just trying to find that puck and tuck it in under Brandt's legs, but Brandt just kept fighting that puck. Able to hold it for the faceoff.
He's had a couple bobbles. Danville, you'd think they were going to start attacking the goal a little bit more. He's done well so far at finding it shortly, not letting up too many opportunities off of it. Gullo loses that faceoff. It ends up with number 26, Joseph Keenan. Across the paint, it's Ensor with two shots, saved nicely by Brandt. Ensor with a hit into the glass there on Keenan. Now men are able to run with it. Instead, going to be a pass to Palmerville, who sends it back down the other end of the ice. Dashers touch up. That one's actually run off the glass and out of play.
Again, the Dashers defensemen deep in the zone on the offense, doing a good job of trying to get a little advantage here because they need to get back into this game down 2.
Something's got to give here. 11:37 left to go in the second period.
Two very evenly matched teams is what we've seen this weekend.
Gullo able to tie that faceoff off. A big hit laid there on Jackson Tucker ends up with the Dashers having the puck. It's quickly turned over. Gullo thrown to the ground by McKenna, and McKenna's going to get a penalty. Ensor's coming to the aid of Gullo. Here we go.
Yeah, Gullo, one of the smaller players on the ice, but he is tough. I think he can defend himself, Seth.
I think so too. He was going up against a giant there in McKenna. He's a big dude, especially when you compare him to Nick Gullo. Gullo might have one of the biggest personalities out there on the ice. He's a hard worker. He's a goal scorer. He's a great assist man as well. Gullo, definitely a vital piece to this Dashers team down the stretch. And, I mean, he draws penalties like no other as well.
High energy guy. He is just always going for that extra advantage and hustling. Very good player to have on this team. Very strong player.
Now the Dashers on a Jenna Worth power play. A bad pass turned back over there. Ensor with a not nice pass there to Palmerville, who slings it back too hard there. Palmerville going to end up with it behind the net.
Time to settle things down, guys. We need this one.
Men are able to almost run with this one, not in sync, the Dashers.
Now they play a little keep away.
They look like they're on the penalty. Palmerville to no one, back to himself, and that's going to have to be touched up. Ensor over to Palmerville.
Yeah, we lost power there, folks. You didn't just go blind. We lost the picture for just a minute.
Thought I went blind. Back off here at center circle. Didn't miss anything. 10:33 left in the second period. 1 minute and 4 seconds left on the Dashers power play, which is at some points looked like they were on the penalty kill. Hoagland with a nice pass there. A fake into Tesorero. Tesorero carries it in looking for an outlet. He doesn't find one. Elects to dump it down the boards, and men are quick to be there. Nick Gullo with another hustle play to get it back, though. Kept in nicely by Hoagland. Hoagland to Gullo. Gullo to Cesarero. Back to the point to Denny, who finds an open net, scores!
And here come the stuffed animals.
And on the 8th day, God said, let there rain teddy bears. It's not in your Bible, but it might as well be in the hockey Bible, folks. As this one's going to take some time to toss out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, one just put
Von Clauston is not a fan of this tradition. He just threw one back out of the ice.
Yeah, a couple of them have not made it past the bench, and they're hitting the Menor Icebreakers players on the back of the head. They're not appreciating that.
It looks like they're actually talking about this goal, but it's awarded nonetheless.
Well, they can't take the goal away because the Teddy Bears have spoken.
No, don't say that. You know the commentators curse. We'd have to do it all over again. I don't think Von Clauston would like that very much.
No, I don't think he would. And just think of all the fun of getting all the Teddy Bears back to their owners for another toss.
Now he's out there with everybody else picking them up. I wouldn't be too happy if a goal got let in and I was getting hit in the head with teddy bears either.
There's some large teddy bears out there as well.
Indeed. I do believe a sock monkey went flying onto the Menor Icebreakers bench. Now the Dashers, the Icebreakers, everyone out there helping to pick up the teddy bears. That's what it's all about, folks. That's what it's all about.
And remember, folks, it's not just to make for some fun scenery here. All these going to a new home. Some kids will be very, very happy.
'Tis the season. Lots of teddy bears out here in Danville. You see General Manager Diane Short out there. It's kind of one of those things where you plan this, and that means you end up having to pick it up as well. I don't know if she's too happy. No, I'm sure she is thrilled at the turnout. Very, very good. Even the referees getting in on the bagging action here as the guys have mostly piled them up.
Even the officials getting involved in helping bag them, man. This is a community effort.
You still have stuffed animals to throw. Please get them out on the ice at this time. Not delay. Get them out on the ice at this time.
We're just going to take this in for a minute. What a beautiful sight.
I'm going to take this opportunity to zoom in and watch some of them in action here, picking up all the teddy bears. I don't know, that's going to be a pretty good haul for Toys for Tots, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it definitely is. And that's one thing. Danville's been through some hard times, especially recently. The last 10, 15, 20 years, it's been a rough spot here, not only for just Danville, for a lot of the state. But it seems like there's always just some way everyone here at these games and at different community events, they always find a way to be charitable and to make things work, and special events like this really illustrate that.
It's fun that the players are getting involved in helping bag the animals here. That's
Richard Pinkowski found a dragon that he liked and joked like he was going to throw it to his coach there on the bench. Going to throw it right out to Coach Duncan. Pinkowski is admiring a lot of these toys, and man, he's picking up a lot of them at once. Must have some big toy grabbing hands there.
all kinds of sizes here, from the very small to the very large. And good organization by the Danville Dashers game day crew here. I think they brought enough bags to make this a very quick pickup. I guess we can call this our media timeout too, since we're at 10:06.
And I wonder, I don't think they'll do it, but the next stoppage you would think will be one. And the Teddy Bears are raining their smiles all around, which maybe this is kind of the break in an intense series that we need for a minute. I don't think it's going to stay all smiles and friendliness for the rest of this period and a half, though.
There was some good cooperation. You had a couple of the groups where it was just one team or the other, but you had some pretty good cross-team teddy bear picking up. That was good.
very cooperative effort. They want to get the game back underway, of course, but at the same time, it's all smiles and they're happy. And Menor escorting not only GM Diane Short off the ice, but Mr. Duncan helping our staff photographer Lindsay off the ice as well.
Yeah, meanwhile, back at the hockey game, we're 2-1 Menor with 10:06 left to play here.
Oh, we're playing hockey?
In the second.
I was focused on the teddy bears.
Hey, that was so much fun. Can we do that again?
Bring them all back out. We're going to go again. That's a good time. That's a good time. Back in here to the action. Atkins taking the face off against Alexander Morrow. Atkins loses out. Men are going to run with it. Mark Estery applying pressure here as Palmerville tries to recollect. Some more offensive pressure here from Menor. A stretch pass to Fred Hine. He's got a one-on-one as Atkins makes it a 2-on-1. Atkins with an open net. Off a nice block there. The Dashers trying to shove this one into the net. It's out on a loose puck and no one able to plug it home. Palmerville a shot and a pass over there. And it's not going to find Bormanis, and Menor elects to run the other way with it. Mark Estery come the other way.
Wow. Menor very lucky to avoid giving up the tying goal there.
Wasn't that hectic. Bormanis with a hold over to Fred Hine, who ghosts on a shot. Now coming the other way with it, Morrow. Morrow over to Estery. Estery gets chipped up a little bit with the puck there.
Great stick by Hoagland to
Brad Denny got the goal, and a nice stretch pass there to Atkins over to Hine. Hine tries to give it back. Maybe should have shot there instead. Instead, Menor able to play with it. Dashers touch it up. Fred behind back on it now with a little bit of space. Tries to backhand it over to Atkins, and man, they're working well. A dangerous
so
bounce
close
there. Almost finds the back of the net. Again, a hard slap shot from Hoagland. Atkins able to recover with it now. Menor back on it. They could have numbers if they move fast. Clouston down the left-hand lane here. Clouston with a little bit of space. A shot popped up, almost up to Tommy B there in the rafters. Off the stick of a Dasher defenseman. I do believe that was Brad Denny playing the coverage there.
Yeah, Tommy B did a good job of ducking, but it hits the Myers Carpet Weavers banner.
Not only a sponsor of the Dashers, but a sponsor at the radio station we both work at. Fun fact.
And nice folks over there.
Without a doubt. Now we have the media timeout. Well, while we're here, we might as well remind you, obviously you just saw tonight was Teddy Bear Toss. We have a lot, and I do mean a lot, of events still coming up. Ladies Night, January 11th, next month. It'll be here before you know it, that's for sure. And then obviously, along with that, a little bit before that, comes Hockey and Heels Night. It's that time of the year again. It's the 5th annual Hockey and Heels. Basically, you come out, you learn about hockey, get to know the players, sample some wine. I do believe from Reggae Wines there, always in the lobby, and it is really good. Let me tell you, you can get an exclusive photo opportunity with the players, and you can purchase your tickets either at the merchandise stand here tonight or by calling 217-213-8939.
Yeah, we do what, 2-3 Reggae Wines a piece during the broadcast. It's a good way to get through
on a bad night.
On a bad night.
On a night where we have to pay attention.
Oh, we're just kidding, folks.
I see, nice cover. Good save.
Yeah, they can't see what's in your glass.
A little bit of a delay here as we come to the face-off. And delay no more. Morrow steps up to the plate here. Theoretical plate, of course. Coming up against Zach Sargis, actually, in the face-off circle there.
Oh, good job by the Dashers winning that draw.
Enser on the run here. Able to stop it up. It's going to be unluckily played there by Enser for an offside, as he was just on the wrong side as that pass came back and hit him. Super close there to another offensive opportunity for the Dashers. 2-1 here as we sit in the second period.
And the momentum has shifted to the hometown crew now.
Coming the other way with it now, John Butita. Butita tries to find Conway. Gordichuk watches that one go by the goal.
Smart play there and almost cashed in.
Duncan on that one now. He's back on it again as he gets the return pass. Duncan slinging it sky high there. It's going to get as far as Johan Hoagland. played off the glass by Hoagland. Menor threatening still with lots of pressure here. Coming down the ice now, Danville throws it behind the net. That one's going to get stuck up behind the net there. Out in space, a shot, a goal!
I didn't catch who that was, but my goodness, big one-timer.
We'll see who ended up on the other end of that. I think it was Mitch Atkins. No, Tyler Quintos, the other new arrival.
That was a rocket of a shot.
Rocket of a shot, and once the first one goes in, the second one's even easier, right?
Yeah, we're tied up at 2 with 7:58. All of a sudden, the Danville Dashers have come to life, and so has this hometown crowd at the Palm.
Two's wild here at the David S. Palmer Arena. 7:55 left to go in the second period, 2-2. Something out of nothing there for the Dashers. Palmerville on this one. He slings it out to Fred Hine. Hine to Atkins. Atkins carries over, leaves it for Fred Hine, who passes it back to Atkins along the boards. Atkins fighting for this one with Brody Duncan. Duncan with a nice outlet pass there, finds the stick of Jackson Tucker. Tucker carries now, he's got help numbers to the right. A blown skate there as Tucker actually carries it himself without help.
They had numbers, and that blowout kind of equalized it.
Hine throws it down to Alfonso Diaz. Oh. Sorry for that prepubescent voice crack there. A couple of games a week, get ya. Oh, Menor almost had a great chance there as bringing it back down the ice. Atkins now has it in space. On it now, Bormanis. Bormanis with a shot off the inside of the goal and in!
Great job dropping that pass back to Bormanis. And Bormanis getting it done. Beating Brent to the left side. Going up high. And all of a sudden, the Danville Dashers have taken command.
An offensive explosion. You knew Christopher Bormanis had a nose for goal, and there buries it as perfect into that top left corner of Jordan Brandt's goal as you could get. So hard shot, it bounced back out of the tough part of the net. And it was quickly slung back down the ice by Menor, but now we'll regroup at the center. 3-2 here, the Dashers take their first lead. 3 straight goals in the second period by the Danville Dashers.
And no cheapies at all. They've just buried the puck.
Hustle plays, a lot of hustle plays. Mark Essery carries around now. He's got Daniliuk to his left. Instead elects to go to Clouston. Clouston back to Daniliuk. Some tough pressure here from the Dashers. Touched up by Menor just as well. It would have been offside on Danville. Now coming the other way with it is Stuart Dant. Stuart Dant gets to Essery. Essery fires it down along the boards. This one's going to come back to Stuart Dant. Some speed skating there from him. Back to Essery. Playing a little catch off the boards. Tesserero is going to run with it off the left-hand side on the attack for the Dashers. We saw him score in space last night. That one is scooped up by Brandt in the glove and frozen quickly.
Great job on the far side of Levi Armstrong, reading that play and seeing what his teammate was doing with the puck, keeping himself onside to give the Dashers a shot, and now they'll get a face-off to the right of Brandt.
Morrow against Gullo. Morrow wins out. He's had a good success rate tonight. Brody Duncan on it now. Duncan slings this one out and pays the prices. Enser actually stops the puck from getting out for a moment. No icing as that was a big collision. Unable to tell who really sticked that one out. On it there, Butita trying to make something out of being trapped along the boards. Duncan just can't get high enough to grab that. Danville almost had a break. Enser fighting for it. His stick gets wrapped up. Now carrying it over is Murray. Murray in space. Murray off the leg of Duncan with a shot. Murray able to collect the rebound off the boards. His stick's out of his hand. Instead finds somehow another Dasher there. Gullo with a space. Gullo across the point. Open net. Swallowed up beautifully by Brandt.
Great stop by Brandt. Frustrating the Danville Dashers. That was a good opportunity.
That was the quickest gap close I've seen tonight. Nice save there by Jordan Brandt, who swings back over and stops the open net goal. What a beauty of a pass there off the fake shot from Nick Gullo.
Great idea, great execution, and almost cashed in for the 4th goal of the night here for the Dashers.
Atkins against Pinkowski as Pinkowski wins out. stopped up by Hoagland.
Dashers winning all the 50-50 pucks along the boards.
Atkins
now.
on the point, a shot there. Fred Hine, a rocket save. Jordan Brandt's on a roll. Sorry to cut you off there, Dennis.
Oh, that's all right. Jordan Brandt with a great glove save.
That was a rocket off the stick of Fred Hine. Dashers elect to not shift change here as they just got out there, so. On it now is Atkins. Atkins loses out. They're winning all the 50-50 pucks and losing all the literal 50-50 pucks in the face-offs. That one's going to come back for an icing as Mark Essery only a couple of feet from maybe being able to chase that one out. In earlier leagues, they might have been able to play that one out. Instead, we're going to bring it back down to the Dasher offensive zone. Hine on it now. Won by Danville. Hine beats out Farrington. Hine along the boards with it now. Oh, a nice pass
close.
there. Almost finds Mitch Atkins. Essery carrying now. Essery with a shot swallowed up cleanly by Gordachuk.
And Brad Denny doing a really good job of protecting his goaltender there. Is after the shot, the Menor Icebreaker player was taking a run towards Gordachuk to see if that puck could be jostled loose, but Brad Denny cutting him off at the pass.
Just a better safe than sorry escort of sorts there by Brad Denny.
Great job. Need to protect your goalie at all costs here.
Especially when he puts out performances like last night and tonight. No easy goals so far tonight, and that's a bad rebound there, but a rocket of a shot as Menor going to put some offensive pressure here in the offensive zone as the Dashers try and get this one out. Unable to do so as Farrington signals that one back in and gets a shift change while he's out at Clouston out there now with Butita, Morrow. It's going to be Farrington that gets down to this one. Tesserero picks it up off the pass. Going to come all the way back down here to Palmerville. Palmerville tries to find Barakov. No such luck there. Men are able to regroup with 4:05 left to go here in the second period.
Great job by Levi Armstrong, just being a pest.
And also getting a shift change at a good time. Ensor comes right back out. A nice scooped out of the air there by Jesse Gordachuk.
Sometimes those little things that they don't make the score sheet, but they make a big difference for a team. We're seeing such great hustle plays by guys like Nick Gullo and Levi Armstrong. That does create opportunities eventually.
Morrow on the face-off, winning it on Nick Gullo. Duncan a shot from the point, wide to the right of Jesse Gordachuk. Quintos does a nice job at contesting that puck. It goes up in the air. It's recovered by John Butita. Active sticks here for the Dashers.
Oh, look out.
Conway with a rocket. It's scooped up nicely by Jesse Gordachuk. I don't even know how he saw that.
Boy, that looked like trouble. Conway, a sharpshooter, when he gets a chance, and he sent a rocket of a shot. But again, Jesse Gordachuk coming up big with the glove save.
Not to mention with a screen in the way as well.
A lot
Beauty
of
a
traffic.
save there.
There was a lot of traffic in front of his net.
This one's lost by Gullo. A lot of traffic in front of the net again. Is Gordachuk able to
Look
save
out.
one? And the Dashers going to try and break on this one. Ensor brings it up now. And we're going to get an offside called there. And now a fight breaks out on the side. It's Pinkowski and Ensor who've been going at it all night. Pinkowski throws a little bit of a check and going to be escorted away quickly. 3:21 left to go here in the second period.
Are we going to see some 4-on-4 hockey, or are they going to let that one go?
Looks like they're going to let that one slide by all indications. Ensor and Pinkowski both make their way over to the bench.
Real sloppy line change after both teams kind of irritated at each other, and you have 10 players on the ice at the same time for each team. That's scary.
That could get out of hand quickly. Enough professionals out there. They all are professionals, so nothing comes of it. Coming out here, Henry Berger passes it over to Keenan. Keenan back to Berger.
Whoops.
A missed pass there finds Gullo. It's actually Fred Hine firing the shot in the end. Atkins on it now.
All of a sudden, men are having their little trouble clearing the zone.
Atkins tries to find Hine, instead finds Farrington. Brings it over to Esri. Esri with some space and a shot off the chest of Jesse Gordichuk. Fred Hine unable to find it quickly enough to take advantage of it. Instead, it's picked up there by Henry Berger. Sent back down. That's going to come all the way back behind Jesse Gordichuk. Played by Gordichuk to Palmerville. Palmerville off the boards there. It's not going to be icing as Bormanis was easily the first one to it. Some
Good
tired
hustle
legs
play
out there for both teams. Atkins on it now. Atkins back to the point. Hoagland winds up for a shot. Instead passes it to Hine in front of net off the stick of the goaltender Jordan Brandt and out of play.
Again, real creative puck movement by the Danville Dashers. Instead of just taking that snapshot when you had it, they moved the puck around, forcing the Menor defense to react and the Menor goaltender Brandt to react, and almost got another big opportunity.
And when you have a player like Hoagland who can shoot so hard from the point, sometimes that fake pass is almost more lethal as you can catch them completely off guard. Speaking of catching, Armstrong catches that one. It ends up with Hoagland, who comes back to Barakov. Sloppy turnover there. Coming back now with it, John Butita. Conway tries to get it. Instead, it's going to come all the way out to Vaughn Clouston, who comes back. His partner Daniliuk in the back with him there.
Another good hustle play by Levi to break up that opportunity.
Clouston up to Morrow. Unable to link up there with John Butita, who instead comes with it behind the goal. Back to Daniliuk. Instead, a sloppy pass right to Hoagland. And with it now, the Dashers in the offensive zone. Denny at the point. Denny fires a slap shot, almost redirected in on net there by Tesserero. Also in on it. Armstrong ends up with the puck. Armstrong got some space. Tesserero has some space. Armstrong, neither one of them can just get it on their stick. Brad Denny now fires one in. Nicely kept in there by the Dashers.
Menor's got tired legs and a long way away from their bench.
Tyler Quintos was the one who sticked that one out of the air. Now coming up with it, Butita's got a chance. A backhander goes harmlessly off of Jesse Gordichuk, but a point shot here.
Look out.
And almost burying the rebound there was number 19, Brody Duncan. Diaz now back with it, passes over to Duncan. Fans on one, tipped down there by Quintos.
Men are getting really, really careless with this puck, and Danville getting some chances.
Murray knocks the stick out of the hand of Duncan, who recollects it. Duncan now comes the other way with the puck. Pushed into the boards. A nice defensive play there. And he's worse for wear.
Uh-oh.
Seth Ensor, I do believe, down on the ground in some extreme pain.
I'd like to see somebody come over to check on him.
You got to check on your guy. They're all kind of waiting for the trainer here.
Oh, I don't like the way he's kind of moving his leg.
I don't either. I think we're going to turn the camera away there just out of respect. He laid the hit, and he paid the price as well.
I don't think it was an upper body. I think he sort of seems to be favoring one of his legs, but it's hard to tell from this angle now.
Yeah, no sense in speculating here.
Big hit.
He's starting to get up a little bit. That's a good sign. That he's up and standing, that's good to see.
Kind of holding his shoulder in an awkward way as well.
Yeah.
But he's also got kind of trailing one leg. He took a big hit.
Sorry to kind of cut you out of the action there, guys. Just, you know, out of respect. If you were on the ground, you probably wouldn't want us filming that. I certainly would not. What we will film is the remainder of the hockey game. 25.3 seconds left in the second period. The Dashers have scored 3 straight here in the second frame.
I think we've seen the last of Seth for tonight. And now we got a little bit of action going.
Hine and Duncan kind of chatting over there in front of the referees.
Yeah.
They've split them up very quickly.
Yeah, it's going to get crazy here if they don't take him off the ice.
A face-off here now to the left of Jesse Gordichuk. Won by basically no one, ending up on its Hawgood. Jesse Kordichuk going to have to play this one along the boards and does nicely to Fred Hine, who throws it down on the run. Bormanis going up against one Menor defenseman. Bormanis lays a big hit, but the defenseman still comes up with the pass out, and it's going to end up with Danville on it now. Atkins.
Time expired.
Time gone in the second period here.
And the officials doing a really good job of keeping players parted, although we're seeing a few players.
Armstrong wants to go.
Oh, yeah.
Armstrong and Brody Duncan kind of chatting up, and Armstrong wanted to go.
Yeah, he's not happy with what happened to his player. Now the referee's doing a really, really good job of keeping the peace.
You're down a winger. I can't see how you would want to be in the penalty box for 5 minutes if you're an offensive player.
Yep.
Now, usually in an incident like that, something would have sparked it off in terms of a bad hit that caused the injury. No bad hit there.
No, it wasn't a bad hit, but I think it was just accumulation of things. And it kind of looked like the Menor Icebreakers player was kind of, shall we say, not so gracious when the Danville player didn't get up. But I think a couple of the Danville Dashers took offense to it.
This third period's going to be a hectic one.
Could get a little bit rough, but hey, in the meantime, look at the scoreboard, Nate.
Yeah, Dashers have the lead at 3-2 here as we go into the second intermission. A little bit of John, good jest going down there from the Dasher faithful.
Dashers offense in that second period, once they came to life, what an incredible run. It took the Teddy Bears to hit the ice to loosen things up, and once it did, the Dashers cashed in pretty quick.
Yeah, certainly scoring 3 straight goals to take their first lead of the game. Shots at 26 for Danville, 29 for Menor. With Jesse Kordichuk has had a stellar night in goal. It's just been tough. Those 2 shots and 2 goals that were let up there, pretty unlucky in terms of how that goes. The 3 goals, of course, tonight for the Dashers. Brad Denny, Tyler Quintos, and Christos Bormanis. A couple of guys on the assist there, including a now injured Seth Ensor, AJ Tesorero, Nick Gullo, Brad Denny, Fred Hine all getting assists. A lot of points spread out, and that's what you like to see if you're Coach Ray Tremblay. A lot of assists and a lot of teamwork.
Got into sort of the bad habit of that top line with Fred Hine getting most of the scoring for a while there. And now it's good to see getting production from all 3 lines, all 3 of the main lines. And some of the guys, some of the scrappier players on the Dashers doing a good job of producing some chances. Very active in that second period.
Going to be interesting to see how this one boils down here in the third period. It's going to be a fun one, folks. Encourage you to stay tuned here. Plenty of offensive ability between these 2 teams, and it's going to lead to a hectic third period. It took us a while to get our first goal. It took us a while to get the Dashers' first goal of the night, but once they did, man, they kicked it on. And we'll be back here at the David S. Palmer Arena for the third period in about 16 minutes with you. Stay tuned here on the Danville Dashers Broadcast Network. back here at the David S. Palmer Arena for period numero tres. That was as white as I could possibly say that, by the way, Dennis. Back here on air with my cohort, Dennis Michelson. Back in the booth here at the David S. Palmer Arena, downtown Danville. The second game of the homestand here for the Danville Dashers against the Menor Icebreakers. A heck of a game already tonight. Danville fell down 2-0, I would say early, but the first goal for either team didn't come into the second period when we saw 5, yes, count them, 5 goals as a combination from both teams. Currently 3-2 here as we head into the third period. Dennis, what are you thinking, man? We're heading into the final frame of this game. It's a 1-goal lead. Feels like it can swing whichever way. What do you think the mindset's going to be from these teams coming out into the third period?
Well, I'm not so sure we're going to see a third period so much as we're going to see about 5 rounds of action. As far as little fisticuffs, I cannot imagine with how these teams left the ice if they're going to be able to make it through the third period without a major fight tonight.
No kidding.
But Danville needs to keep their cool and remember that they're here to win the hockey game, not the fight.
Right. Atkins wins the first faceoff there. It's dumped back behind the Dashers to Denny, to Hine, who can't get it past Conway. Some pressure here in the early goings, as we've seen so many times from Menor. Open shot there as Gordachuk equal to the task. Mitch Atkins
Without
loses his stick. Still makes an impact. The stick still plays the puck. Look at that. Fred Hine out here on the point, tries to block up a shot. Almost a nice redirect there. An open jet shot there by John Butita, but Gordachuk makes the save. A hard slap shot from the point. Conway tries to push this one back in. It's an open net off the top of the post.
Missed the net.
That's the most open shot you're going to have on a night, and it goes off the top of the post.
Wow.
Bormanis fights for that one. It's sent up by Jordan Brand instead. Gullo fighting for this one, blows a tire.
Dashers need a stoppage here.
Essery tries to throw that one in front of the net there, and Essery takes a big hit into the boards. Quintos going to try and touch this one up and fight for it before it becomes an icing. No luck on that one. It's going to become an icing anyway.
This is one of those, oh, here we go.
Here we go again. Palmerville on Essery. Looks like they're both going to go to the box. Should be offsetting that, or we're going to see 4-on-4.
Yep.
We'll see the official call here in just a minute. We haven't had a signal just yet. But Essery and Palmerville, I would say the Dashers lost out there having Palmerville go to the box. He's been solid back on the defensive end so far tonight.
Yep, we'll have some 4-on-4 hockey here. And I was just about to say before that little fight almost occurred that we're in a situation where Danville was so much back on their heels and they needed a stoppage of play. So even this icing, that wasn't a bad icing to take at all in that situation.
Definitely not. We're back here down to the left of Jesse Gordachuk. An open net opportunity there for Menor. Gordachuk swallows it up somehow.
Wow. That was another dangerous situation. Yeah. Pair of roughing penalties, and now here we might have another 2 players going at it.
And Nick Gullo.
I think the over-under on fights,
Here we go again.
The biggest player on the ice.
They're actually going to send Stuart Dant to the penalty box. He's waving him over at least. He's not going anywhere, though.
And Gullo's going over towards the penalty box as well.
3-on-3?
Well, a little preemptive refereeing there to keep it from getting to the point where they're going to have to clean blood off the ice again.
We're still somehow going to end up with 4-on-4 hockey here, I guess.
Yeah, they're not going to take them down to 3 here.
Can't go lower than 4.
Yeah, they'll just keep them at 4.
Darn, that would have been fun, though.
It would have been a lot of fun.
That just seems like an appropriate FPHL rule that we come down to 3. I feel like it just makes sense.
Commissioner Nate has a good ring to it, I think.
Oh, man, the league would be even more out of hand. Hine tries to lay one off there to Atkins. Instead, it's coming back to Menor. Atkins going to have to lay chase to this one against Stuart Dant.
When we've seen Danville in 4-on-4 situations, they've seemed to have played very well in this situation. Another cheap little hit behind the play.
Atkins got hooked. It ends up with Conway getting an open shot.
Got a little glove to the face action too behind the
Brad Denny
play.
plays this one out to Atkins. He swings and a miss. It's a stretch pass to Hine. Hine's got a space. He shoots in and out of the glove there of Jordan Brandt to his left. Now men are going to try and work the other way. Danville doing a good job keeping numbers back here despite the 4-on-4. And into the glove of Gordichuk. That's going to be frozen as Declan Conway was threatening.
Good decision there because he didn't have a lot of help from his defense getting back on that play. They were kind of busy bodying up opposing players.
54 seconds left here of the 2 penalties. Although there should be a little bit more time than that as there are 4 people in the box, not just 2.
A lot of open ice here.
Ooh, a nice attempt at a stretch pass there off the stick of Hawgood trying to find.
I think when those first penalties expire, Nate, they're going to let them play 5-on-5.
That makes sense. Just keep it to about normal. No real threatening offensive chances just yet off the 4-on-4. A couple of shots that have come close, but no clear saves. Bringing it down now is Danville. Hawgood tries to carry it into Atkins. Instead, it's going to be pushed out. As a fight was going on for the puck. In the back here, Duncan going to carry it over the line. 1-on-4, and a shot comes to Gordichuk, goes into the backside of the net. It's slapped out by Duncan and covered up by Gordichuk, who does a sprawl to get on the other end of that one and freeze it. Preemptive refereeing, for sure, a good way to describe it so far.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of keeping this from getting out of hand because both teams, there's no love lost right now after a tough weekend of very physical hockey.
It's kind of fun to note that neither Stuart Dant nor Gullo actually served the full 2 minutes for that, if it was indeed a penalty. A few seconds off of that, but they let them come out anyway.
It was like 2 kids that weren't behaving. They were sent for a quick timeout.
I'm sure the logic behind that would be if they had come out, both teams would have had 6 players on the ice.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's a no-no. Usually. Brad Denny fighting for this one with Farrington. We're going to have a penalty behind the play on the Dashers.
Oh,
it's
boy.
on Brad Denny. He's going to go to the box.
Stick.
Yeah, sure looked like it. Touched up by the Dashers, and now we're going to see what the penalty was. Brad Denny getting his money worth. I think he got 2 high stickings there.
Yeah.
We'll see the official call here in a minute as Brad Denny heads to the penalty box for a Serve Pro penalty kill. I was putting our banner up. Did you see the actual signal there on that one?
Did not see it. It was a, but I'm guessing high stick.
I would think so. We'll get an official word on that in just a minute here. Don't have an official line, unfortunately. The formal rule on the Stuart Danton Nick Gullo minors were unsportsmanlike conduct.
Ah, that makes sense.
Menor gets a power play here. Bringing it behind was Declan Conway. Conway over to Duncan. Duncan's slap shot is in past Gordichuk to the glove side. Almost barred down, instead hits the top of the net, and we have a tie game here at the David S. Palmer Arena. 3's Wild, 3-3 here in the 3rd period. The official call on that Brad Denny penalty was roughing.
That was not much roughing, but again, the officials trying to keep this thing from getting out of hand. I thought the stick got a little high myself.
Roughing with the high stick. That's what we're going with. Face off here won by Danville. Danville going to need to get back on the offensive foot. A huge change in momentum there in favor of Menor. This one's going to be touched up by Jordan Brandt. Coming the other way with it, Brody Duncan just scored. He sends that one high and wide up to Hoagland. Back to Denny. Denny tries a stretch pass. It gets through number 9, Nate Farrington. Another high and wide pass there by Duncan. Essery, the speedy Mark Essery, going to get to the end of this one. Dashers unable to clear this. A nice pass there across the blue zone, just unable to find the stick of Nate Farrington.
Dashers a little tentative again, getting that puck out of their defensive end, and it's going to come back to haunt them here if they don't settle it down.
Mitch Atkins went face first into the boards there. Fred Hine going to have a little space to work with here. Hine with a long shot, but almost finds the corner. Another shot from the point, almost tipped in. Instead comes out and around. Berger on the end of this one. Now Keenan. Keenan flips it along the boards to Pinkowski. Pinkowski with a nice pass to himself off the boards. Pinkowski with a shot. A bobbled by Gordachuk.
Look out.
Dangerous situation there for Jesse Gordachuk. Able to get it out, though.
Another dangerous play.
Now coming around with it, Danville.
Danville again sloppy along their own boards here.
Quintos ends up coming out with it. And it's down to Hawgood. Hawgood with a stretch pass there to Barakov. Ends up with Menner and then comes back down to Hawgood. Almost played with a high stick there by Daniliuk. Instead, he whiffs on it. It comes back to Gullo in front of the net as he's looking for a pass. A shot from Hoagland, and it's blocked up nicely. A rebound score!
Great job by the Dashers, being hungry in front of that net. Brandt made the first stop, but could not come up strong on the second rebound attempt.
Not enough to keep out Quintos there.
Good aggressive play in front of that net, and the Dashers cash in. That was a big, big goal because the Dashers have been kind of back on their heels. And Menner with all the momentum, but Danville quickly turns it around and takes the advantage 4-3.
A huge rebound shot there from Quintos. What an impact he's had already. Ray Tremblay and General Manager Diane Short getting the credit, going out and finding these players just in recent weeks, and look how they've gelled. Now, speaking of which, coming down Atkins, over to Hine. Hine with a shot. Oh, open net, but nobody can collect the rebound. Stick tied up there by Morrow on the stick of Bormanis. He played out to Conway.
Fred Hine with a great opportunity there.
Conway's long stretch pass, going to go for nothing other than an icing. That comes back down to the side of Mr. Jordan Brandt.
Boy, Fred Hine in open ice is so dangerous. He got off that one-timer and almost collected another goal.
And that rebound came off of none other than the slap shot of Johan Hoagland. We've been talking about him, especially with several defenders not quite back from injury or not joined the team yet. The shot for Palmerville here. He's tripped up. No call. Referee's hand stays down. Everyone in-house wanted a tripping except the folks wearing blue. Instead, we're going to stay at 4-on-5 hockey here. Palmerville with a long stretch pass to Fred Hine, who drags the toe to stay onside. Instead, getting a shift change longwards here in the third period. Nick Gullo out there. Quintos, goal scorer. That one's going to come down to the left of Gordachuk, picked up by Essery, who fires a quick one across the zone. Back out, and almost finds net there off the slap shot from Tim Perks. Oh, a huge hit laid there, and a double huge hit laid there, as going hard was Quintos. You think he's amped up after that goal?
Quintos, very aggressive, but good, clean, hard hits against the boards.
Oh, a nice play there from Levi Armstrong. Active stick coming right off the shift change, ends up in an opportunity. He's back on top of it now. Armstrong with a shot. Swallowed up nicely there by Jordan Brandt. Armstrong skates a little bit of ice to Brandt, and Armstrong's been looking to fight all night, and if you're going to step up to him, he's going to take you down. He's been looking for a fight, and if you come after him, a fight's what you're going to get, whether you want it or not. On the other end of that, Henry Berger, the one, and he's just standing up for his goalie. You can't really fault him for that.
I'm a little bit worried about maybe getting a power play opportunity here with an instigation penalty.
I think more than likely you'll see an instigation penalty and fighting.
Yeah, that was...
there wasn't really a fight there, if we're being honest.
No, and I only see 4 coming out on the ice. Actually, I see 4 men are icebreakers too, so once again... Looks like we're going to have 4-on-4 hockey.
That's what it looks like. Only one penalty up on the scoreboard for now. Nope, now there's two. Okay. The penalties there, Levi Armstrong and Henry Berger. I think Berger took the worst of that. I think the referees took the worst of that, actually. Sometimes it's safer just to let them go at it. You got to think.
Yeah, and another
Oven
big
with a
hit.
huge hit to Jackson Tucker. This one could get out of hand, especially if you see another goal go in. Daniliuk fires one on to Gordichuk, who harms it off with a stick. Pass back into front. A bouncer doesn't find it as far as Gordichuk. That one does, though, off the stick there of McKenna. It's swallowed up by Gordichuk for a frozen puck.
Good job by Gordichuk reading what the Menor Icebreaker player was trying to do with that old stuff job, and he would not give any space along that post, knowing his defense had any pass out front snuffed.
Essery wins that face-off, but instead it's going to come out, and that is Bormanis running down the side. A nice deke gets him a little bit of space, a pass over across the crease. Instead, it's won by Menor here, coming down with it. Number 10, Nida. Nida with a shot that doesn't quite get to the net. A little bit to the right of Jesse Gordichuk's post there. A stretch pass doesn't quite make it as far there. That's where it was aimed by Hawgood in the back.
Another big hit behind the play after the puck had gone down the other end of the ice.
57 seconds left. Last I looked, now 52. As a shot is fired on to Gordichuk. Gordichuk does a nice job getting down to it. He's going to have to save another one off the post. Another backhanded shot saved by Gordichuk. Anyone trying to find where the puck is. And it's finally recovered by Danville. Gordichuk's had a few bounce off of his post so far. We'll just call that good measurement.
Goaltender's best friend came up big again.
A nice job there by Bormanis to hold off the attack just long enough for Dashers to get back on. He's going to get a shift change now. 20 seconds left of 4-on-4 hockey as we go down to the other end. A long stretch pass there, finds the glove of Nick Gullo, who does a nice job at sending it back down the ice.
Kind of got stuck in his glove there for a moment.
Yeah, it did. Barakov tries to lay chase. Instead, it's going to come back down through Declan Conway. Conway holds, and Conway fires over there to number 5, Alexander Morrow. Fresh out of the box come both players from both teams.
And they gave each other a real nasty look as they came out of the box,
I bet they did. Armstrong's on the attack here on the right side. Gullo gets it over to him, but a little bit hard. Armstrong got it now along the boards. He's tripped up, blown tire. Back to Armstrong, who's going to have a shot off the right arm there.
Puck's loose.
Hand pass not called there, although there was one, but can you blame him in the defensive zone like that? A slapper there from Armstrong and a nice save by Jordan Brandt. Nonetheless, the Dashers coming back at it. Barakov over to Hine. Hine with a shot on off the right arm of Brandt. Essery throws it out now, coming back with Daniliuk. On to his right, he's got Morrow. Daniliuk elects to shoot it on his own, though. And he's going to get his own rebound as well. It comes to Hawgood, now to Fred Hine, who tries to clear it. Essery can't come down with that one. A big hit laid there on Atkins.
Fred Hine just a step away from having a big opportunity there.
In the end, a bouncing puck going to come back to Palmerville. It's sent back nicely and ends up finding Tesserero. Fred Hine laid in a big hit. That was coming off of Henry Berger.
Fred had his head up, though, and avoided the worst contact there.
Now coming Pinkowski with a nice stretch to keep it onside. Pinkowski tied up nicely by Palmerville. A tag team of Palmerville and Gullo put Pinkowski into the boards. Now coming Menor. That's a stick save up in the air on Jesse Gordichuk. The goal's off the post, and that's going to be a frozen puck.
That puck bouncing around and looked like it might be some trouble, but the Menor Icebreaker forward had kind of wandered into the net. And a much-needed media timeout here for both sides.
You're not wrong. Dashers currently up 4-3 here in the third period. 8:50 left to go. How'd you like to see two games decided by a goal each tonight?
This has been a nerve-wracking weekend of hockey. Two incredibly well-matched teams. not just on the offensive and defensive side, but on the physical side as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Similar play styles as well. A lot of fast, wide open hockey for both teams. Some really good offensive possessions from both teams. Menor could argue that they should have a few more, and Danville could argue that they should have a few more, just based off of a little bit sloppy chances. And Menor's had 3 or 4 shots in the last 2 nights go off of Jesse Gordachuk's top and left post, especially down on this side. He must have put some juju in that post down there on the north side of the arena.
That net likes him.
I don't know if that's the north side. We're just going to say it is.
Get details on how you can pick that up immediately at the end of the game for a photo opportunity.
You should have a compass app on your phone.
I should. Usually I'm good enough to know where I am. That's the west side of the arena. I had to stop and think about it for a minute. Well, we want to welcome everybody in here to the Danville Dashers broadcast network here. You gotta love the FPHL streaming on YouTube, right?
Oh, I've been enjoying watching games from all over the league.
Some fantastic broadcasters in this league. I'm not talking about us, but I'm talking about everybody else, Dennis.
Oh, there's been some really good announcers in the league this year.
A nicely stopped shot there, and this line's going to go to work. Gullo sends it down. It's going to get as far as Brandt, who slings it back behind. The stretch pass finds Morrow. He's got Butita to the right. Finds Morrow in the end. He flubs on a shot there just a little bit as Brad Denny plays defense.
Oh.
Hoggood plays that backwards with a high stick. I don't even think he knew where it was. Palmerville and Hoggood really fighting to get some control here on their defensive zone.
Men are doing a good job of annoying the Danville defense.
And when Menor's passes are on, man, they're on. Now Bormanis coming the other way with it. Does a nice job at just staying with it. Lays a big hit. He's going to get called for a penalty here. As blown tire as well, and he is yet to get up. Pulling the goalie here are Menor, and they're going to sit back with Declan Conway on it. Butita. Now over to Diaz. Now back to Essery. An extra attacker here. It's touched up by Bormanis, who was called for the penalty in the first place.
Menor icebreaker player did get up. He was just fine. Came off on his own, a little shaken up, but he headed right back to his bench.
Slow to get up, Brody Duncan, I do believe. He's up now, back on the bench. Sitting next to the trainer in good company, especially for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think he just had the old bell rung. I think he'll be fine. Seth Enser, of course, who was hurt at the end of the second period, has not returned and will not be back tonight.
You would not expect to see very much of him. I don't think he'll make his way back out onto the ice in any capacity.
I think he'll be gone for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it did not look great. Hopefully it's not as bad as it looked. Great guy, great defender, and a great attacker, too.
Our folks at Robinson Chiropractic might have some work this week.
Men are now threatening on the offense. A shot from the point is blocked up nicely by hustle man Nick Gullo. This one's out to Berger, out to Essery. That one doesn't make it quite as far. Menor have 2 men playing in front of the goal. That surely limits the area that you can put a shot on net from the point. The 2 strategies don't really flow very well together. Quintos does a heck of a job there with an active stick to throw this one down the ice. 1:16 left to go in the penalty kill here for the Serve Pro penalty kill. 6:46 left to go in the game.
It's a big moment in this game.
In the period, I mean, not in the game.
If Danville can kill this penalty, they're in really good shape.
Flubs on one. Is Hines going to have an opportunity? He's going to elect to hold this one. Not seeing anything clearly enough.
And he's got his stick held behind the scenes.
As well there, Alexander Morrow getting tied up just a little bit. Dashers trying to throw this one down and almost get it out of the zone. It's kept in nicely there by Clouston. Oh, almost found an open net pass there to Von Clouston. Clouston being put up against the boards now by Murray. Now on the other end of it is Conway. Conway with a shot on, and it's on Gordachuk. He's got an open net. He palms it away. Well done by Jesse Gordachuk, who is down on the ground and somehow gets a left hand up to stop that shot. That was a soccer save if I've ever seen one on the rebound. Hopefully he's okay. He's going to skate this one off a little bit. Wow.
27 seconds left here, and I'm hoping we don't have another Danville Dasher going to the pen.
If it does, it's going to be Fred Hine get a little tangled up behind the scenes. It's been going back and forth here between Morrow and Hine.
Well, it all started when Morrow was grabbing the stick of Hine, and then it got a little uglier after that down in the Danville Dashers end, but no penalty and only 27 seconds left to kill here for the Dashers.
And you know, when you're wearing a face mask, you wouldn't think you would be trying to start too many instigations with that safety measure on.
Ooh, another nice stop by Gordachuk on a shot that came really fast from the point. And Gordy actually looks like that one shook him up a little bit.
He was shaken up from that last play. I think his arm was a little bit bent when he came up, sprawling out, and he stopped a sure goal. A good 80% of his goal was wide open as he was on the ground. Slung his glove up, made the save. That was Duncan who delivered that last slap shot, and he throws another one in from the point.
Man, the Menor offense has been just awesome, but they just haven't found the back of the net.
And Gordachuk, a big reason for that. A huge hit laid there and pays the price to Johan Hoagland. Now on it, Farrington. He loses the puck. It's tipped up there by Daniliuk. Trying to throw it down the ice is Quintos.
We're back to even strength.
5:23 left to go in the game. 4-3 Danville in the third period.
Big kill for the Danville Dashers there.
Stuart Dant on it now. Dant with a shot that could have found something. Now they're going to have a break if they go fast. It's Bormanis that's going to get on the other end of it. Duncan is quick to sort that one out, though.
Changing on the fly, so didn't have any help.
Never a worry there for Menor. Murray on it now. He's going to have to get rid of it as he's hounded by some pressure. On it, Mitch Atkins. Atkins to Hine. Hine flips it down. He's going to get called for an offside, does Bormanis. It's a little bit of a stick there from Keenan, a little bit of a stick hold there from Berger, and then ends up on the ground. And the referees have to do something to get control of this game.
Again, behind the scenes. Little stick here, little stick there, little shenanigans here, both sides guilty. That time the Danville Dashers player taking the worst of it.
Looked like a slight trip there behind the play on our instant replay that we've got running through the stream. Instead, we're going to see a face-off all the way down in the offensive zone.
Because of the high stick.
.451 left to go here in the third period regardless. That one comes out to Keenan. Keenan from the point, a shot on Gordachuk. Gordachuk had it covered, but it's wide anyway.
All right.
A huge double hit there. That one was definitely clean. Pinkowski brings it back down, fires on Gordachuk. Now back on it is Nada.
Shook Murray up a little bit behind the scenes there. That was, he kind of got hit one way, turned, and then the second Menor icebreaker clipped him going the other way.
A lot of pressure being applied, and that leads to some big hits when you're going for the puck like that. It's kind of the nature of things.
4:29 left in regulation. I'm going to need some Pepto if we continue to have these tight games.
Oh, he would have had an open net almost there, would have Daniliuk. Instead, stick hits the ice a little bit before it hit the puck, and you're not going to get good contact on that.
Men are getting all the pucks along the boards here.
Conway almost had a chance. Instead, the Dasher is going to try and chase it. Instead, Fred Hine goes for a shift change. Barakov plays pressure. This one might be an icing. It was tight enough to where it wasn't an icing. It's played by the Dashers. Thrown up in the air by Denny. A nice grab there by Menor to keep it onside. Grabbing it was Von Clouston. Now Daniliuk passes over to Clouston. Clouston with a long rocket of a slap shot. Gordachuk deals with it with the stick.
Dashers playing very conservative hockey. Their forwards way deep in their own defensive end.
Playing not to lose can cost you sometimes. We'll see what happens here in the final 3 minutes, 35 seconds.
Maybe a delay a game here. Oh, they're saying it tipped.
It's going to be waved off.
Saying it's tipped again.
The close judge didn't exactly.
Oh, no, we are going to see a penalty.
I didn't see a signal from the close judge. The far judge did say it was tipped, but the close judge is going to call a delay of game on Brody Duncan.
I think that was a good call. Of course, I am a little biased. 3:34 left in regulation, and now a 2-minute power play for Danville. This comes at a great opportunity or great time.
Jenna Worth power play here. 2 minutes of the 3:34 left to go in the game here in the third period.
Danville can cash in here.
Menor does a good job winning that face-off and throwing it out. Palmerville behind the net now. Palmerville carries it out. He's carrying it across the blue line. Some nice pressure there from Menor. Disturbs it, doesn't let him even get past the defensive blue line. All 5 Danville players now regroup behind the net of Jesse Gordachuk. A huge hit there behind the play on Brad Denny, who pays the price. Atkins has a shot. Goal!
Buried it! Absolutely buried it!
Atkins capitalizes on the hit behind the play that left Menor short on men. That's why you play the puck, folks. Mitch Atkins buries a slapper past the glove of Jordan Brandt, and the Dashers take a 2-goal lead.
I have a feeling the Dashers are going to get a penalty here after the play.
It's on Bormanis. We'll see the official call here in just a second. We're going to go straight from the Jenna Worth power play to the Serve Pro penalty kill, but you feel a little bit better about it being up by 2 scores. The Dashers offense seeming to come to life here.
Not very often while you're celebrating a goal do you get a penalty in hockey, but they managed to do that.
We'll get the official word on that in a minute. That one's won by Morrow for Menor. Duncan on it now, fresh out of the box for that delay of game. On it now, Clouston.
There was no shortage of shenanigans going on behind the scene there.
Denny content to tie this one up. A very nice defensive play there by the veteran Brad Denny, who's on the boards and then slings it down the ice.
54 seconds in the third period.
Denny just got an assist on that goal as well. Bormanis signaled for the 3rd unsportsmanlike conduct of the game. Gordachuk gonna wrap that one up and freeze the puck. The Dashers are up now to capitalizing on a quarter of their power play chances. Didn't see what drew that, Boo.
Oh, the crowd just heard the announcement of the penalty, and they didn't like that very much.
Makes sense.
The referee's doing a good job of trying to keep order here tonight.
Preemptive refereeing hasn't cost anybody so far.
And I use the word trying to keep order.
That one's slung all the way down here. 1:21 left to go in the penalty kill for Danville. 2:25 left to go in the game. Up by 2 scores. Danville just got to hold that 2-goal lead now.
Menor really hasn't done anything on the first 30 seconds of this power play.
Palmerville pass intercepted by Berger. Berger's got some space, fires one across the blue zone. Unable to get onto it was Morrow. And out of the offensive zone, the Dashers get the puck. We're going to get a penalty here.
And that'll even us up and get us back to 4-on-4 hockey again.
Followed by about 58 seconds of power play for the Dashers. Morrow going to the box. He has probably earned that by now.
The chippiness that's going on after just about every play, the referee's doing a good job of keeping it from blowing up.
Menor wins the faceoff now on the 4-on-4 hockey, and they're going to come down the line here. Vaughn Clouston. Clouston, a nice deke there to carry it in. He's got Farrington if he wants him. Instead, tied up there along the boards as Farrington goes to the ground. He's smushed by Bormanis. He's got a hold of Bormanis' glove.
Getting to the situation in the game where the Menor Icebreakers also playing against the clock.
Beautiful puck deke there by Mark Essery along the side. He fires a pass to Daniliuk. Daniliuk over to the point to Clouston, who can't control it. Gordachuk, a beautiful swallow there as Nate Farrington was about to drop on that puck.
That was a dangerous, dangerous opportunity there for the Menor Icebreakers, but once again, Gordachuk saving his defenders. Minute 31 left in regulation. About 24 seconds to my next
Some
panic
slashing.
attack.
Conway and Quintos are either going to get penalized or going to get separated here. Instead, they're both going to go to the center circle where they can watch them a little bit more closely.
There you go.
Quintos wins the best of that one. Duncan from the point, a shot off it looked like the helmet of Hoagland. He doesn't seem fazed by it, though.
Yeah, he's a tough kid.
Now on the other end of it is Alfonso Diaz. Touched up nicely there. Hustle points for Jesse Nayer. Throwing it down. About 5 seconds left until we see a power play for the Dashers. They're going to have a serve pro penalty or power play now. Jenna Worth power play. We've gone back and forth so many times. How can you keep track?
Those sponsorships getting their money's worth tonight.
Without a doubt. 53 seconds left to go in the game, and Menor firmly in control of the offensive puck.
I'm feeling pretty confident now.
Doesn't look like we're going to see the goalie pulled at all. Even though they have solid control here. Jesse Gordichuk makes another nice save.
And a whistle behind the scene again.
It's going to be Brad Denny and Brody Duncan, both probably going to the box here.
Oh.
You think you would learn eventually, you know, just...
They're not allowing anything to go
No.
on because they just don't want anything to explode. It's a very good job of keeping the peace here by the referees.
I think Jesse Nayer took a bad shot there. He looks a little bit off comfort coming back into the box. The Dashers look to close this one out in the final 36.5 seconds here of the third period, up 5-3 on Menor, looking to take the weekend sweep.
Yeah, men are just running out of time now. Dashers looking strong.
The referee not making this any easier. He's sent off 3 players from this face-off. Palmerville out to Hine.
Dashers defense still working real hard here.
Atkins kind of tries to throw this one down. 20 seconds left on the clock. Palmerville on it now. Palmerville to Hine. Hine back to Palmerville. You got to think they're going to close this one out, probably trying to stay in their defensive end. Palmerville out to Murray.
Oh, good pass.
Hine's got space. Hine with a deke tries to find the stick of Barakov. Back over to Hine, 1 second left, and that's going to do it, folks.
Another big hit and a little slap and tickle with the sticks afterwards, but this one is over. And your Danville Dashers with a big and tough and hard-earned victory again tonight here at the Palm.
That's a big win for Danville. With that win, increased their winning streak as well and swept the weekend series with a very good team in the Menor Icebreakers.
Referees doing a real good job of hustling the Menor Icebreakers off the ice while Danville celebrates with this very enthusiastic crowd.
Wow, Danville outshot on the night, 48-33 the final total, and still scoring 5 goals and only allowing 3, and 2 of those Gordichuk had no line of sight on whatsoever.
Now Gordichuk again, big time performance between the pipes and getting a little help from the goalkeeper's best friend, the posts as well.
There's no doubt about that. Well, Dashers take a victory here, sweep the weekend 5-3 at the end of the third period, and thus the end of the game here.
Tough decisions on the 3 stars tonight.
It's going to be tough. There are a lot of point scorers. Danville may sweep the hole depending on who the goal scorers were for Menor. Brody Duncan had 2 points. I think Danville's probably going to sweep the hole here with just a goal and assist for Brody Duncan and Declan Conway. Wow, a massive, looks like 10 Dashers with points tonight. Brad Denny, Mitch Atkins, Tyler Quintos, Fred Hine, Nick Gullo, Johan Hoagland, Christers Bormanis, Seth Ensler, AJ Tesserero all notching points on the night.
Quintos would be my pick for the #1 star, not just for the points that he scored, but the hustle and the plays that he created tonight. Another one of these new additions to the team. Could you imagine where the Danville Dashers would be without these additions, with all of the injuries that they've been facing.
Nick Gullo gets the 3rd star here tonight.
Great choice there, Nick. Worked really tough all night long.
Just a note that Christers Bormanis scored the go-ahead goal. Brad Denning had a goal.
Good choice.
And several stellar defensive plays. Let's see who it is. Christers Bormanis. No. Well, he didn't score the game winner, but he scored the last one. I'm going to have to correct Tommy B there when I see him, but either way, Mitch Atkins more than deserving of that 1st star. There's no doubt about that.
Great game for the Danville Dashers again. You know, it sounds cliche, and I am the king of cliches, but this was a team effort, not only in the scoring, but also in how tough they played all weekend long, but especially tonight. Every single player on this team had to step up big. They were already thin in the number of players that they dressed tonight, and then losing Seth Enser for that last 20 minutes. And you wouldn't even realize that they were that short-handed because they showed great hustle all the way through the end of that 3rd period.
Yeah, they definitely did. One of them, well, I would even say 3, and that's why they're the 3 stars, but 3 big hustling people on the Dashers team, especially tonight. Brad Denny not only notching a goal and an assist, several stellar defensive efforts. Tyler Quintos with 2 goals, obviously getting the 1st star, including that final goal there. Nick Gullo with 2 assists and several hustle plays, just creating offensive opportunities left and right. And man, that's all it really takes. Hustle, defense, a good effort from Jesse Gordachuk in the net tonight, and a solid win as you sweep the Menor Icebreakers. That's no laughing matter. Menor, a very, very solid team and someone to watch out for down the stretch. They've got a lot of offensive potential on that team.
Long time, I'll bet, at home where the Danville Dashers have won by 2 and Fred Hine wasn't one of the top 3 stars. Just shows you there's a lot of depth to the offense here with the Danville Dashers. And also Jesse Gordachuk. Got to give him a shout out. I know it's very rare for a goalkeeper to get a star unless he gets a shutout, but he kept them in this game early when they were sluggish on offense and the Menor Icebreakers were taking it to him. He made a couple of diving stops across from the left side to the right side to stop potential rebounds that could have been tucked in easy. Got a little help from the post and also got a little help from the Menor Icebreakers when they had them down and out, trying to get a little too cute with the shots and going high over the top of the crossbar instead of being able to tuck it into a wide open net. But what an effort by everybody on this Danville Dashers team tonight. It wasn't the prettiest game that you'll see him play all year, but it was hard fought, and 2 hard fought victories this weekend against a very tough Menor Icebreakers club.
And depending on circumstance, that can be all it takes sometime. And if in case you were wondering about the final scores and around the rest of the FPHL, 5-4, the Hat Tricks took down the Thunder at home. Elmira went at home against Watertown, 7-4 in that game, Elmira winning. Carolina beating Battle Creek, a little bit more tame of a score this time and a little bit more tame of a game from what I've heard. 6-1 Carolina over Battle Creek. And of course here at the Palmer Arena, the Dashers beating the Icebreakers 5-3. Taking a look at the standings here before we depart. Watertown still firmly in control of first place in the East. Danville not really gaining too much ground with tonight's win on Carolina, who are pretty well ahead of the pack, and that happens when you've only lost 1 game so far in the 15 that you've played. Watertown, like I said, 33 points on the season. Danbury in second now with 29 after Menor drops 2 on the road. They fall to third place with 27 points. Elmira close to them with 24. As for Danville, still with 24 points on the season behind Carolina's 42. However, you do gain a little bit of ground on the third-place team in Port Huron.
Been very impressed with that Danbury Hat-Tricks club. They've put together a really nice team, and they've got some big wins to their credit already this year.
They've come together very quickly, and so have Ray Tremblay's new additions, and that was the recipe for them winning this game tonight and ending up on top of the Menor Icebreakers. Well, looking forward to next weekend. Dennis will have the weekend off, but the boys won't. They'll be traveling over to Delaware for their, I do believe, first road trip visit with the newly minted Thunder team there on the East Coast. 2 games on Friday and Saturday. You can catch that on the Thunder YouTube channel. As for Menor, they'll move on to take Battle Creek. And it's never a vacation playing any team, but you gotta think if you have to go on the road somewhere, you're not too upset having to go up to Battle Creek, at least not right now.
No, but I have a feeling that next season we're going to see a whole different look from that Battle Creek team. I will say this. They played us tough. In that game we played last week. They played us awfully tough in that first period. They just ran out of legs, and the talent of the Danville Dashers finally took over, but I don't think they're going to be down for very long.
No, I don't either. Put up that team very quickly, and now they'll be back again next season. That's already been confirmed, so that's pretty awesome. And, well, we want to wish safe travels to everybody coming from Mentor, including team, fans, staff, everybody from over there. And have a good night. Saturday night, you can find something fun to do out there. We've had our fun for the night. I'm going home and going to bed, Dennis.
Sounds like a plan.
That's going to about do it for us here at the Danville Dashers home stadium at the Palm, David S. Palmer Arena. Have a good night, everybody.